smartly, all right?
And make sure you wish this guy a happy birthday. You're not going to see him. He's gonna be like,
We still won the game, which is the main positive, and we have to prepare for the game against Belgium. Yeah, everybody was supporting me, which I greatly appreciate. Not just my teammates, the fans. I felt the love from the country as a whole. So yeah, that makes it easier for me to be able to move forward from this, even though it'll be extremely difficult.
You said what happened, right? Now about moving on. Can you talk about just how you are going to be able to show up and support the guys as they take on Belgium?
No, for sure. I'm going to be there in any way I can to help the team. The most important thing is just making sure the guys are equipped to go out there and shine. And I want to be somebody they can come to if they need advice or if they need help. And I'm gonna definitely show my support to the fullest.
Did you see LeBron repost the celebration, and how did you feel about it? Do you think it will close the gap between the soccer and the basketball?
Yeah, I saw LeBron's tweet. That was a surreal moment. That was amazing. I think that's the idea. I think we're all athletes at the end of the day. Representing our country, trying to make the nation as proud as possible. So I think we should be united, and America is a stronger force when we're united. So definitely with that celebration and LeBron reaching out, it was. I feel like it's going to be an iconic moment. He's no different. Exact same. Yeah, as you can imagine, it's frustrating, but what can you do? I can't sit here and dwell. I mean, the most important thing, as I said, is just to focus on that game and to try and prepare the team as best as possible. And there's no reason as well, why we can't go out there and continue to win as we have been, and show the world, what USA is about. Okay, thank you guys.
There you go.
Thank you.
ESPN's.
Just a couple more updates. Christian Roldan still in modified training. As he has done in the past, Tyler will do active regeneration work today, and Mark McKenzie resumes full time.
Which one do you use? The training stay here, right?
Right here.
That's going to be a question for them.
Right here. Anywhere along these, you can stay. Yeah.
What would you consider best? The training on this one. And it's, we don't. So I just pick a spot along here, and if you need to move, then. Yeah, so I need a big one. Come on, Raj. I don't know. I think so this will be a mix of
Up to where are you?
It's almost unplugged if you want to pull it all the way out.
Got it.
Welcome to Chicago Live. My name is Jake Hamilton. It is July 3rd, one day right before, not just July 4th, but beginning to celebrate America 250, not just here in Chicago, but everywhere around the country. We're going to be talking a lot about that over the next couple of hours. We're going to be talking with David Spunt, who is actually live at Mount Rushmore right now. He's going to be checking in with us to give us just a little bit of a feel for how things are going out there, what the atmosphere is like, and really what people can expect for all the America 250 celebrations happening out there. There's also going to be a lot happening right here in the city of Chicago. We're going to be talking with some folks over at Navy Pier to find out what you can expect, how you can celebrate America 250 without even leaving the city. Also, we've got some other great stuff about what the word patriotism means to kids, and how you should explain it to kids, and what it should really make a kid feel. And we're going to be talking with an expert about different ways to talk to them about that, different books that they can look at. We're going to be talking with Stephen Clifford a little bit about that, and we're also going to be talking about Taste of Oakbrook. We talk a lot about these sort of festivals on both Chicago Live and on Good Day Chicago, and everything that they have to offer whenever you go out to the festival, but also what it means whenever you're there, and maybe when you're done with the festival and you get to sort of leave the taste grounds, and also you're in Oakbrook and maybe just have an opportunity to explore what's going on in the neighborhood. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're also going to be talking about, I'm really excited about this, we're going to be talking with the deputy editor over at CBR.com, which is Comic Book Resources. His name is Sean O'Connell. Full disclosure, he's a personal friend of mine, and because, obviously, believe it or not, 4th of July is a big movie weekend, and there are certain movies, in the same way people watch Christmas movies, in the same way people watch Halloween movies, there are a lot of movies that people watch for the 4th of July. And you wouldn't believe it, and I feel old just by saying this, today is the 30th anniversary of a little movie called Independence Day. The movie was released on July 3rd, 1996. So we're going to be talking with Sean about all of the great 4th of July movies. But first of all, let's spring back around to our friend David Spunt, who is actually live at Mount Rushmore right now. David, are you with us?
Yes,
I got to tell you, man.
Hello to everyone in Chicago.
Your shot, it's so incredible. It almost looks green screen. It's not. We know it's not. We know it's real. But, I mean, what a place to be at. For someone who's never been there before, I've never had the pleasure of being there. Can you just explain what it's like to be there, and not just today, but just any day of the year?
I'll tell you something. It's beautiful. I've never been here either. I walked in for the first time this morning, and despite what it looks like behind me, it looks quite far away. In person, it's actually quite close. You can see all of the presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. This was a project, a labor of love for the sculptor Gutzon Borglum, Idaho-born. I believe that he actually died in Chicago in 1941. This project started in 1927. President Calvin Coolidge was here at the mountain. It was called Six Grandfathers. That was the Native American name for this particular mountain. In 1927, he dedicated the start of work on what became known as Mount Rushmore, and the project was not finished until 1941. In fact, Mr. Borglum went on to other projects, and his son Lincoln finished this project. And originally, Thomas Jefferson, who's the second person next to George Washington behind me, originally he was to screen left to George Washington's right, but the rock proved to not really be good rock there to sculpt, so they did not carve into that rock there, and they moved Jefferson to the other side of Washington.
It's so interesting because the way you're telling the story, it makes it sound so easy, but you hear that and you know that could not have been an easy thing to do. You mentioned that it's your first time out there seeing this. I'm sure, like me, we grow up seeing this image in history books in school, and it's sort of iconic whenever you're talking about America. Does seeing it in person, how is it different than all of the times throughout our lives we've seen the image, maybe just on a screen or on a piece of paper?
I think it's different because of the angles that you can see, and pardon me for holding up this phone. The connection in the earpiece is not working, so I'm kind of going old school here, if you will, but I can hear you, and they're doing a mic check right now, but I can hear you. And I think it looks different in person because of the way the sun hits it at different times during the day. Everybody's face changes throughout the day, the way the shadows hit. And on TV, you only see sort of the iconic image of Mount Rushmore. But here, you can see it in different angles and different lights. And it really changes the shape of things, and it makes it look different when you're hitting it from different angles or different viewpoints with trees in front of it. Some of the beautiful trees here in the Black Hills. So that is what I think makes it special here in person.
I mean, it would be incredible to see, like I said, 365 days out of the year. What is happening specifically for this weekend for America 250 that it's going to be one of those things, if you're out there, you're bragging about having seen it?
Absolutely. So tonight is going to be a big celebration here. President Trump's going to speak at 8:30 local, which is 8:30 Mountain Time, 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time. Before that, there will be a flyover of the new Air Force One, also Marine One. There'll be a B-52 bomber as well as an F-16. So there'll be the flyovers. Then after the president speaks to the crowd, there are going to be fireworks over Mount Rushmore, and that's significant because it's the first time since 2020 during the pandemic when this was done. There were some fears over the past 5 or so years about fires, and those fears are real because this area is full of trees. I spoke to Interior Secretary Doug Burgum yesterday, did an interview with him. He assured everybody that, yes, they're aware that there could be fires, but he said overall he's not concerned, and there is a plan in place to deploy immediately if there is any threat from the fireworks to cause fire.
That's great that they're keeping that in mind and obviously keeping everybody safe. The festivities are always obviously a lot of fun, but people's safety obviously top priority. Speaking of the people, are you overhearing conversations? Does there seem to be, I mean, I'm sure everybody's always excited to be out there, but can you get a little bit of a different vibe from the people that are out there that they can tell that this is something special, particularly this weekend?
Yeah, I can't give you a total answer on that quite yet because the public has not been let in yet, but it's actually not open today. Mount Rushmore is closed for the day to the public. There are invited guests, VIPs, local members of Congress, local members of political parties that will be here tonight. So I haven't gotten a feel yet from people that are around, but even the local people that work here, the park rangers, the people that are with I spoke to someone with the FBI earlier who's based here in South Dakota. He says this is special. He's looking forward to it. So yes, it is a unique day to be able to see not only fireworks over Mount Rushmore, but fireworks over Mount Rushmore to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the country. And I will end with this thought that, buildings are all over the country, memorials, monuments are all over the country. This perhaps may be the only monument in the United States of America that is going to be here, 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, just because of the way it's been made. And it is quite something to see, to think of these men that were here in the late 20s, 30s, into the early 40s that were hanging from what looked like swings on a playground to chip away at this rock. And there's actually piles of rock underneath. You can see like what looks like a big quarry. That's all the stone from the original Six Grandfathers Mountain that was chipped off to make these.
Unbelievable. David, I don't know. You mentioned you get the chance to be there before everybody else gets in. Man, you're flying first class. How are you going to go back to coach after this? How are you going to, you're getting experience unlike any, you're spoiled, my friend.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I'm very fortunate that Fox sent me, and we got to get in here this morning before many people were in here. First media crew in here this morning, and it's quite something to see.
I would love to. David Spunt, listen, it's a great opportunity, but you also have done an amazing job out there. You have earned your keep, sir. I appreciate you. I know these are long days, so I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us, sir. We appreciate you.
No problem, and thank you very much for
we got you, man. You're a professional. All right, buddy. Take care. All right, Chicago Live rolls on for this very special Friday edition, but more to come. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Chicago Live. It is just about 1:16. Listen, goes without saying there are 4th of July America 250 celebrations happening all over the country. But in my personal opinion, I am a little biased. I think one of the best that you're going to find anywhere in the country is right here, is in Chicago, is at Navy Pier. We're going to talk with Dylan Hankey, who is the Senior Director of Programming and Production Arts, Culture, and Engagement. Dylan, always good to talk with you. Whenever you and I chat, what that says to me is that something great is about to happen in the city of Chicago. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. Happy 4th of July weekend.
And to you, my friend, and to you. Listen, I have been lucky enough because I live downtown to see all of the festivities that you guys are doing. And again, I'm not blowing smoke. I wouldn't say this if I didn't mean it. I think what you guys have rivals anything that's happening anywhere else in the country.
That's really kind of you to say, and I think this time you're correct. This is the biggest show we've ever worked on.
Always correct, my friend Dylan.
That's very kind. Yeah. No, it's this is a very special day. We started planning last year. This is the largest show we've ever produced at Navy Pier. It's 2 barges as opposed to 1. It's a longer show, and it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. So we're very excited.
You know, I feel like people hear the phrase a 15-minute fireworks show, and they go, oh, cool, that sounds great. But I feel like people need to kind of pause for a moment and realize that a 15-minute fireworks show is a lot, and it takes a lot, and there's a lot of artistry that goes into it. There is timing, there is music, there is getting the barges in place. I mean, there are so many layers that go into just being able to say we have a 15-minute fireworks show.
Absolutely. We spend a lot of time kind of curating the music selection. Obviously, for this show, we're trying to be as patriotic as possible and just really celebrate America in 250 years. So we spend a lot of time on the music selection. There's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on with synchronizing the music to, when a shell goes up in the air, it has 0.4 seconds before it detonates. So synchronizing all those individual shells across a 15-minute show is a lot of work, but it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So
it really is, and I'm really fascinated. I could get really nerdy about sort of the artistry and the timing of matching the music and everything, and I won't bore you with all those nerdy technical questions. Listen, it goes without saying that there's only so much. Look, Navy Pier is a big spot, right? And you guys can fit a lot of people. You can't fit everybody that wants to come out. What do people need to know? What is the timing of when things are starting? And when would you personally recommend people start showing up to potentially maybe even grab parking if they can?
Absolutely. We do expect to close for capacity probably early evening. So I would suggest coming late afternoon, 4 or 5. Marking down a spot and maybe grab a drink or a bite to eat at one of our partner tenants. But yeah, definitely plan on getting here early. There's plenty of options with public transportation. We have 4 buses that come here, ride share, parking of course as well, but that will also likely close. So if you're looking to get down early, get a good spot, not be rushing, you have plenty of time to kill if you get down here around 5, 6, and the show begins promptly at 10 p.m.
So that's good to know. Like, so maybe someone makes you get in at 5, you can walk around, you can see some things, and then, I mean, do you think there are still maybe some reservations to be had at I know you guys have a lot of restaurants around there, but some of the restaurants in the area?
Yeah, absolutely. You can certainly walk in, and there should be seating available at most of the restaurants. Some of them are accepting reservations. So just look at navypier.org. You can check out all the restaurants and offerings, and you can see what's available. Also, you won't go hungry down here looking around. So I think just get here early, and you'll be in good shape.
I mean, there's so much around the area, whether it be at Navy Pier or just in Streeterville in general. Let's talk safety for a minute. Obviously, that many people around there, you want to keep everyone safe. Anything people need to know about, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and things that you want people to be aware of just in terms of safety?
Absolutely. We are screening all the guests that come to the pier tomorrow. So be prepared to be searched if you're arriving via garage or the front entrance. We take security extremely seriously, especially this weekend. No large coolers. Other than that, bring umbrellas, bring plenty of water, and stay hydrated. It's going to be hot, but yes, we are definitely keeping safety top of mind this weekend.
I mean, one of the beautiful things about things that are happening at Navy Pier is a lot of times you can kind of see it along the lakefront. Are there any spots, along near Navy Pier that you would say, listen, if we end up being full, if we're closed, this actually wouldn't be a bad spot for you to post up?
Sure. Over by Olive Park, DuSable Harbor, you'll get a view from Grant Park as well. Fortunately, because this show is so large, as long as there isn't a building in the way, you're gonna be able to see it. Of course, up near like Oak Street Beach. So yeah, you'll have plenty of sight lines if you don't make it down here. We'd love to have you, but understand it is going to be crowded. But yeah, I think really anywhere downtown that's not behind a building, you're gonna have a view of one of the best shows you'll ever see. So.
I'm so looking forward to it. You mentioned something interesting off the top of our conversation. You said that you guys started planning this last year. And I want to emphasize that because I really want to give all the credit to the people who helped make this show possible. When you guys are starting to say, all right, let's sit down, let's have our meeting, 4th of July celebration, Navy Pier. What's step number one? Like, what is the first thing you guys have to figure out?
It's the days of the week. This was kind of a perfect planning scenario. We, of course, do fireworks every Wednesday and Saturday all summer long. And when we were looking at the calendar for this year, we're like, oh my, the 4th of July is on a Saturday. And it's the 250th anniversary of America. So let's make this the best thing we've ever done. And we kind of just started rolling from there. We've had a lot of support. Choose Chicago is presenting the show, a great partner. And obviously the city of Chicago as well, just kind of making everything easy for us to just put on a great show for the city of Chicago. So,
you mentioned America 250. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to see for many years the sort of stuff that you guys do out there for 4th of July. Is there something about this year that if someone misses it, you're out of luck? You're not going to see it next year. You're not going to see it in 10 years. It's just happening tomorrow.
Like I said, it's a kind of a perfect storm of dates and 250 years. This is something we don't anticipate doing every year by any means. But yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely gigantic and something you don't want to miss because I don't know when we're going to do something like this again.
It really is truly special. We're talking a lot about sort of the work leading right now. Obviously, it's July 3rd and everything's happening 4th of July. What's 5th of July like for you? Is it a long nap? Is it a stiff drink? What does July 5 look like for you, Dylan?
Me personally, I am probably coming back to Navy Pier, relaxing, having a nice cold beverage perhaps by the lake. But yeah, the pier's open all weekend. Tonight we have a performance with the Navy Band Great Lakes, the Wind Ensemble. So we're celebrating tonight as well. All weekend we have music in the beer garden at the Rhythm Stage. So yeah, I mean it's I'm gonna plan on relaxing, but I'm also just very excited. This is what I get to do for a living, so I'm really appreciative of Navy Pier and the city of Chicago, and we're just gonna have a great time. So I'm not worried about my plans Sunday, I guess.
Well, there's so many special things going on around there every day of the week. Iris and I were just over there, and it was so cool. One of the World Cup games was on. I think it may have been Bosnia or Croatia, and in the outdoor beer garden. So, you know what? Outside of America 250, outside of the 4th of July, on a random Tuesday, you can go hang out with some people and just outside watch the World Cup right here on Fox 32. Like, there is always something special going on.
Absolutely. We have something every day at Navy Pier, whether it's any of our shoreline or city experiences cruises going out. We have a roller rink this summer every day of the week up in the former Crystal Garden. Called Summer Skate. That's a great way to spend an afternoon. And yeah, any of our restaurants, great patios, great things to do. We have fitness programs on Tuesdays. We have our movie series starting Monday. So really any day of the week, check out NavyPier.org. You can definitely find something, if not free, but mostly free programming that we do every day of the week. So please come on down. I appreciate you asking too.
Of course. Well, in addition, I want to give you guys another shout out. In addition to the fireworks obviously happening tomorrow, I feel like we're kind of spoiled, and maybe we take this for granted, at least those of us that are downtown. Fireworks every Wednesday and Saturday. Like, if you can't make it out tomorrow, or maybe it's just too big of a crowd for you tomorrow, you know what? A Wednesday night fireworks session is not a bad makeup plan.
Absolutely. That's a good weeknight activity. 9 p.m. We do it every Wednesday, 10 p.m. every Saturday. And, we don't just synchronize music for the 4th of July. We synchronize music for every single one of these shows. Some of the shows are a great mix of pop music. We do special soundtracks this year for the centennial of Route 66, which we're also celebrating. So a lot of big anniversaries this year. But yeah, we have a great, fantastic 10-minute fireworks show twice a week. So definitely, if you're a little hesitant about crowds, I'd absolutely suggest coming down to Navy Pier on a Wednesday night and grabbing a bite to eat and just hanging out and watching the fireworks.
Love to hear that. All right, Dylan, before we let you go, one more time, let people know the timing and everything for tomorrow, what they need to know, and let's get that out there one more time.
Yes, 10 p.m. Saturday night at Navy Pier. Get here early, drink a lot of water. Please be safe. We're excited to welcome you. Yeah, that's it.
Dylan Hankey, Senior Director of Programming and Production Arts, Culture, and Engagement. My friend, always good to see you. Anytime we get to see you on the show, like I said, it means something great is happening at Navy Pier, and good luck with everything tomorrow, man. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. Have a great 4th.
Thanks, buddy. You too. All right, guys, Chicago Live rolls on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, 131. As we gear up to celebrate not just the 4th of July, but America 250 around Chicago, around the country, the word patriotism is coming up a lot, and it's about what it means to a lot of people. But we're going to sort of zero in for a second, and we're going to talk about what it means to kids and how you communicate being a patriot and being and feeling patriotic with kids, because it's a feeling that now is starting to elicit lots of different sort of side emotions and side conversations. So we're going to talk with Stephen Clifford, who's a motivational children's author, youth coach, and a father of 2. Stephen, are you with us? Stephen, I think you might be muted. Let's get you unmuted.
It looks like
there
I'm here.
We go. We got you. We got you. Fantastic. Stephen, first of all, thank you for joining us, my friend. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really fascinated about this. I was reading up on it, and there is a point that is made, which is, you're starting to have conversations with people who are talking about patriotism with their kids. And the reason that they are bringing this topic to you is because for a lot of people, patriotism is starting to be intertwined with politics in a way, and maybe in a way that it wasn't before. Would you agree with that?
I would, and it shouldn't be. I think patriotism to me growing up was never about politics. It was never about one side or the other. It was always having pride for your country and for the great people that came before you.
So where do you even begin the conversation? Because, maybe it's something, it might be one of those situations where if you're waiting for your kid to come ask you about patriotism, you might be waiting for a while. So maybe you need to, spark that conversation yourself and get that conversation going. What is step number 1 to kind of start dividing the two, particularly as we head into the 4th of July?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Kids are naturally curious. I think kids also are not necessarily going to appreciate their country without ever being taught to appreciate their country. I think a lot of times in today's day, we are taught only one side of the story. And I don't know when that particularly started to change, but we're starting to teach one side of the story and have kids feel guilty about growing up in America instead of appreciating our freedoms. And I think my position is we shouldn't necessarily teach one side or the other. We should teach both sides. And I think if you teach children to appreciate our freedoms and it's worth fighting for and worth improving, all while teaching the imperfections, I think that is the proper story that needs to be taught to children.
Stephen, I'm 20 years out of high school. It's been a while since I've been in a high school American history class, but I have very vivid memories of learning about the American history and the American Revolution in 1776, and to your point, sort of the politics of the day never really infiltrating the classroom. Are there things for someone's watching and maybe they have a kid in a history class? Are the history classes of today that different than they were when you and I were in school?
Well, I can attest that I was also not in the high school classrooms. It's been a while, but what I've heard from Board of Education members, from parents, from principals, they've called me and they've asked me, hey, we don't have any patriotic books in our libraries. And it's the 4th of July, and it's 250th anniversary, and parents are asking about it. Where can we get them? And, how can we get your books or just in general? And to me, it's almost a sad state of affairs when the school library doesn't have any books that teach about American excellence or American greatness. I think there needs to be a balance in today's day, and I think one side is leaning towards the other too much.
So what do you mean by that when you say a patriotic book? How do you define that?
Just telling the truth. I think, think about it like this. I kind of look at it as like a family photo album. Let's say that you have a family photo album like all families do, and you're showing your children histories of your family, and you're only showing the cries, the heartbreak, the sickness, the disasters, the mistakes. Your children, if that's the only story you show in the family photo albums, your children are going to grow up thinking that your family's history is awful. And why would you want to help that or improve that or want to continue that tradition if you're only taught one side? just like every photo album, there are those things that are mistakes and there are atrocities and there are things that you wish that never happened. But there's also graduations, there's birthdays, there's laughters. So you have to teach both sides of the story in order to have appreciation.
Test.
Well, then to that point, what are the stories that you think are important that are included when talking about the history of America?
For one, I think stories like Lewis and Clark, Wilma Rudolph, Teddy Roosevelt. There are so many different stories that we can talk about, and instead of just focusing on the things that America have done so improper and wrong, Lewis and Clark, for one, that story should be taught for a whole semester about the courage and the fortitude that it took for them to cross the majority of our country and search and explore and then write letters back to President Jefferson on all the land that they're exploring, all the animals they're discovering, all the different plants and the terrains that America has discovered. These men went out, were some of the most courageous men that we've ever had in our country, and I think it's very, very rarely taught in schools, and if it is, it's a blip on a semester.
So is it a situation where parents are going to have to take it upon themselves to sort of teach these lessons and tell these stories, or is it possible that maybe some of these stories start getting ingrained in American history classes around the country again?
I think parents need to take an active role in patriotism. I think, and patriotism to me isn't political. Patriotism isn't just saying we are great and we and everything we've done has always been wonderful. It's obviously every country has a good and a bad side to it. But I also think that parents need to be able to do their own. Parents need to understand that they need to do their own digging. They need to know their own knowledge of it, and if they need to represent properly some of the unique formations and unique stories of America. One of the instances, my daughter was talking about slavery the other day, and we taught her about all the history of slavery and how the atrocities and how awful it was. But many kids, they only think that slavery happened in America. And they don't realize that it was a culturally worldwide phenomenon forever. And Americans in England were the ones to abolish it and fight a war over it. And they were the ones who stopped it globally. And then they were the ones who other countries had to abolish slavery of their own and find out it was morally unacceptable due to America and England. And I think that's a story that's not being told. It's just told that America was slavery and it was terrible and it was bad. And yes, of course it was. But there's another side to it too. We weren't the only ones doing it, and we were the ones to stop it. We were the ones to actually put forth to remove slavery as much as we could throughout the world. And I think that's the balance I'm talking about. Speak about the imperfections, speak about segregation, speak about slavery, think about the things we did wrong, but also talk about the people that fought for it to end it.
So, obviously, the reason we're having this conversation is that it's America 250 and tomorrow's the 4th of July. But I'd imagine that these are conversations that are relevant on the 5th of July and the 8th of August and the 17th of October. Can you talk about the importance of, yes, it's great and it's super relevant to be having these conversations this weekend, but it doesn't really matter if you stop having these conversations on the 5th of July.
Of course, you nailed it. You nailed it. It is something that I think about all the time is that it's very cool now to talk about 250th anniversary and we need to be patriotic today. What about July 5th and December 11th and January 4th, right? It needs to be happening throughout the whole year and speak about all the different things we do. And there's plenty of opportunities and landmarks that we can discuss this with our children. There are certainly different topics and times that we can discuss John Brown, that we could discuss Wilma Rudolph, we can discuss Teddy Roosevelt, and the great things that these men and women have done to our country to make them worth preserving. I think if we only teach about what we are, the mistakes that we've done, our children are going to inherit guilt instead of gratitude. I think that would be self-destructive for the future, because not only is it time to reflect on the 250 years of America and what has happened before us, but we should be thinking about what's going to happen for the next 250 years. And the children that need to love it and want to preserve it, they need to know the history behind it.
Stephen, as we wrap up, one more time, can you let people know where they can find more information on the Forgotten Wisdom book series?
Yes. So ForgottenWisdomBooks.com and at Forgotten Wisdom Books on Instagram and Facebook. And ForgottenWisdomBooks.com, every single page has an American flag in the page, whether it be subtle or overt. I put that in there just as like a Where's Waldo thing. But also there is a story in the back of a book teaching about American history and a person who has done American greatness throughout life that is symbolic to the lesson in the story.
Stephen Clifford, we appreciate this. A fascinating conversation. Thank you for taking this time, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. All right, guys, it is just about 1:41. Chicago Live rolls on. We'll go to break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Chicago Live. It is just about 1:44. You know, up to this point, we've been talking a lot about different 4th of July celebrations, America 250 celebrations happening all around the area. But listen, this is Chicago. There's always something to celebrate. There's always something going on. Case in point, we're going to talk about the Taste of Oak Brook, one of the biggest celebrations in the burbs, kicking off today. We're going to talk with Michael Manzo, the Village of Oak Brook trustee. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Listen, I know you guys are gearing up for something special. Did I read this right? Are you guys expecting 30,000 people?
Yeah, last year we exceeded 30,000. Every year is growing and growing. It's getting bigger and bigger.
I mean, you're doing something right if you're pulling those kind of numbers. For someone who's never been out there before, tell us a little bit about what they can expect.
Well, our venue's different than most other venues with other municipalities. We're fortunate. We have 270 acres of sports core land. We have 15 acres of just wide open space, and that's where we have our Taste of Oak Brook. It's a picnic-like setting. The kids could run around and play. We have face painting. We have a bouncy house. We have this year a golf simulator for the adults. We have Altar Brewing Beer Garden. We have 20 vendors. That's the most we've ever had. Food vendors from the local area. So it's just a wide open space, and it's a real fun family time. And very patriotic, obviously, this year with the 250th birthday of our great country.
Oh, I see you got the flag right over your shoulder. You're looking good, Michael. You know, it's so funny. I hear all the things that you guys have going on out there at something like this, and I always equate things like this to like a Swiss Army knife. It kind of has 10,000 different uses. I mean, if you want food, if you want music, if you want something for the kids to get out, and I mean, you can kind of sort of fine-tune something like this to whatever it is you want your Saturday to be.
Absolutely correct. It's like the biggest picnic in the area, and the families are all getting together. People meet up here. It's a tradition. It's an annual tradition. I did want to mention that we were supposed to open at 2:00. That's going to be delayed. Obviously, we're at the mercy of the weather, but we hope and are planning to open up later this evening. We have a great drone show. We have a fireworks show that's going to last at least 25 minutes. So everybody loves that. We have live music, live entertainment, 16 Candles, Whiskey Friends, and also a DJ. The kids love the DJ. So something for everybody.
Michael, I am actually really glad that you brought up the weather. I got a couple of windows in front of me, and we are watching it just pour right now. What is a good place that someone can go to if they kind of want to get the latest weather updates on potentially any delays in case it rains tomorrow, when, you know, if you're pushing back the opening? Where can they find the latest info?
Well, the event is actually this evening, but they can go to our Instagram or to our Facebook page. They can also go to our Oak Brook website, and it gives up to the minute updates on when we are going to open it. It is going to be delayed several hours, but we're going to keep everybody posted through social media. We're also getting the word out other ways.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Up to this point, we've been talking kind of from the perspective of someone who's maybe never been out to this before. But let's say someone has been out there many, many times. They love this thing. They know what it is. Is there something new this year that maybe might even surprise them?
The golf simulator. We've never done it before. We have a lot of avid golfers in the area, men and women, who just love it. There's a grand prize if you hit a hole-in-one for $2,500. There's other prizes too. So that's the new thing. Our drone show is enhanced. Our fireworks is enhanced. Even though we've had them, we're making them bigger and better this year, given the 250th birthday of our country.
Love that. If only I knew how to golf. Let's talk about the food vendors really quick, because I was always someone who I picked one thing, and that's what I ate. That's what I ate for lunch. And my girlfriend is really open to my horizons to no, you gotta try a little bit from this stand, and then you go over there and you try a little bit from that vendor. Would you recommend kind of the sort of a little sampling platter of all the vendors you guys are going to have to have
Your girlfriend is right.
Oh, she normally is. You have no idea, Michael.
We have a lot of variety. We have STK Steakhouse, which just opened up recently in Oak Brook, Fogo de Chao. We have Fat Rosie's. We have La Briola and Stand Donuts, with many, many others. We have I think we have 20 vendors this year. We've never had 20 vendors. So you have many ways to satisfy your hunger at the Taste of Oak Brook.
I often say one of the benefits of sort of events like these is not just what you guys have there on the grounds. It's an excuse to get someone there, and then when you're done, maybe say, well, do we have to leave just yet? I'd imagine it's a great excuse to just go out and explore Oak Brook and maybe discover your new favorite restaurant or a street corner that you love. It's a beautiful intersection. There's so many different areas around Oak Brook that are beautiful for photography, or there's so many different reasons to get out of the Taste of Oak Brook after you've already explored it.
You are so right. We're blessed in so many ways. We have probably the best mall in the nation. Shoppers are constantly coming. We have wonderful restaurants, and we're adding new ones every year. We have great hotels. We have some of the best hotels in the area. But we also have that open space. We have bike paths. We have, walk paths. It's just a wonderful place with a ton of open space. And our founder, Paul Butler, designed it that way. It's 1/3 with our commercial district. It's vibrant. We have our 1/3 residential, but he made sure there was 1/3 of just beautiful open space. And that's what the sports core is. I believe 270 acres in total. And it's got the badminton, tennis, it's got soccer, a golf course, everything you could imagine.
We mentioned, you guys drew more than 30,000 people last year. You're expecting more than that this year. So I think it sort of begs the question, what are you guys doing right? If another suburb came knocking on your door and say, hey, give us some tips for ours, what would you tell them?
give the people what they want. We didn't start like this. We started with a couple of food vendors and a short event, and we've expanded the hours. We've brought in live entertainment. Then we brought a DJ. We brought events for the children. We really went all out for the kids. They loved the face painting. They loved the bouncy house. And then we took care of the adults. One year they had asked, what about a beer garden? We added that. And now the golf simulator was, again, a request from many of the guests that come said, that would be something neat. That would be something nice. And so this year we're going to try it out.
For someone who is watching this and they're thinking, God, that sounds great. I wish I could get out there, but I just can't swing it today. But they said, you know what? I want to come out, maybe next weekend or the weekend after to explore Oak Brook. Where would you send them?
Oh, I would send them to our commercial district. We have the mall has every imaginable store that you could want. You have wonderful food. You have places like Luca's and Gibson's also here. You have wonderful malls. Purple Pig just opened up in our mall. I mean, there is always something to do in Oak Brook. It doesn't matter if it's restaurant or if it's a stay vacation at one of our hotels. It's always something to do. It's nature walks. We have wonderful golf. We have our own golf course that is always packed. So we always have something to do for anybody who wants to visit, not just now. We have historical sites. So there's always something to do in Oak Brook.
I love that. Let's talk about transportation really quick. If someone says, you mentioned a beer garden. If someone says, hey, you know what, that sounds good, but I want to stay safe and I want to make sure I'm not putting anyone in danger. Are there other, forms of public transportation people can take to get out there and remain safe?
Yeah, most everybody is using Lyft and Uber. That's what we're getting. Others are doing stay vacations. What they're doing is they're staying for the weekend and they got a room. We have hotels, La Meridian, we have Marriott, DoubleTree, Hyatt Place. I think we have 7 hotels, all within a couple of miles of the event. So some are closer, some are a little further, but there's always somewhere to stay. But we want everyone to be safe. If you're going to stay at a hotel, that's great. If you're going to drink, then we would recommend get a ride share.
All right, Michael. One more time, let's get people the hits, runs, errors. Let people know what they need to know about the Taste of Oak Brook, and then also one more time, let them know where they can get up to date information on potential delays because of what's going on with the weather. Yeah,
I would go to our website. I would also go to our Facebook page and our Instagram page. That's where you're going to get the best updates. It's located on the sports core land off of 31st Street. You could take that to Polo Drive. There's going to be parking at the Christ Church right across from the event. Plenty of parking there. It's probably going to open up later this evening. The fireworks and the drone show usually start about 9:30, 10 o'clock. It might be a little later this time around. But we're hoping and we're doing everything we can to keep the event going and not cancel.
Excellent. Michael, we appreciate you. Best of luck with the event and looking forward to talking with you next year to hear about the insane number of people that showed up this weekend.
Outstanding. You have a great day.
You too, sir. Take care. All right, guys, we are going to roll on Chicago Live. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. 157 on Chicago Live. Listen, it is a cliched, tired metaphor, but when it comes to a newsroom, it is very much the old metaphor of the iceberg, where most of what's going on happens below the surface of the water. You see us within sort of this frame, but there is a whole team of talented journalists and producers, writers, directors, people who make all of this possible to deliver the best possible, the most accurate news imaginable. And one of the absolute greatest that we have in our newsroom, and one of my all-time favorite people to work alongside every day, is our 5 o'clock producer, Sloan Salerno, who joins us live downstairs. What do we want to call it? Like 40 yards away, do we think?
I don't know, something like that.
Sloan,
that was quite the introduction, though. Thank you.
Well, it only gets better from there. What are the top stories? It is really interesting. I always say, working in a newsroom, sort of listening to the news kind of happen throughout the day, and sort of the stories that pop up, and really the stories that kind of yield reactions from people in the newsroom. So what are the stories that you think are getting that are getting Terrence Lee talking in the newsroom this afternoon?
Oh, yeah. We've got some crazy ones today. So Leslie is on the story. It was last week, I believe, she did this story. There was a guy in Rogers Park, and there's rats all in his building. And he says he woke up to a rat on his face biting him. And he had, marks all over his face. His eye was swollen. And so we went out there and we did the story, and it went viral. And it ended up getting the attention of a doctor who said, that looks like you have shingles, like he might have something, wrong with him, like he needs to get into the doctor immediately. And so we connected them together. He ended up going to the doctor, and she examined him at no cost, which was great. And then she did determine that he has shingles on his face, and it could have cost him his eye. He could have lost his vision there. And so Leslie's checking in with him. They're going to the doctor together. And so that is just a wild twist to the story that is crazy.
So I've got to ask you, because I saw a lot of the images when that initial story came out, and I think sort of one of the questions that we had was like, how does he sleep through so many different bite marks? Are we maybe to now assume that a majority of the bite marks that we saw are more the result of shingles than rats?
Unclear. Two things could be true. So he could have, because he did have rats. We saw rats in the apartment, in the building. So could have been rats crawling on him. Maybe they also bit him. But it could also have just been the shingles, and the rat could have just been there and not bit him. And so he did say that he had, was sleeping through, he had worked, all night or something and came home and slept. So it is possible that the rat was just crawling on his face, so he didn't wake up to actual biting, per se. But again, that's all still unclear. So yeah, there's still a lot of questions.
There are so many things about this story that are fascinating. And I mean, really, this story took off on social media, right? I mean, I feel like I was seeing this story share. I mean, obviously, Fox 32 is very much within my algorithm, but I feel like I saw this story kind of just go everywhere.
Oh, yeah, it went everywhere. And that's how doctors actually saw it and were able to notice, that kind of looks more like you have a shingles infection rather than just a rat biting your face. And so he is also starting to GoFundMe, so she'll talk about that, to help him move out of that building, which, again, still does have rats all over it. And then he's also using that to help cover his medical expenses. And so, yeah, there is a lot going on with that story.
It really is fascinating. One more time, can you let people know where when that story is going to be updated?
It'll be on at 4 and at 5, so 4:30 and 5:30. We are on My 50 today for both shows because of World Cup.
Fantastic. All right, what's the next story? What else are we talking about today?
Let's see. So I have a fun kicker today, actually. So there's this big seal in southern Tasmania, and he's basically, viral and famous there. And so they're asking him to respect his privacy, but he basically respects nothing there. So he's 5 years old. His name is Neil the seal. He's an elephant seal. And so twice a year he comes from the water after eating and goes on the beach town and hangs out. but he's super feisty and like goes on a rampage. So he is picking fights with parked cars. He smashed through a barrier that was supposed to keep him off of the road. So clearly it did not work well. And when he's not, wreaking havoc and smashing things, he does just like to lie anywhere that he wants to, which is sometimes the middle of the road and no one can get past him. And he's 5 and he's 2,200 pounds. And so if he does reach adulthood, which I guess a lot of male elephant seals don't, but if he does, he could triple that weight and get about 16 feet long. And so he's a danger to society. So they're asking people, like, it's fun, it's cool that he's there, but you got to stay away from him.
But, okay, and this shows sort of my ignorance when it comes to seals like this. He can't be moving very fast. Or, I mean, I feel like we're talking about him as if he's, like, speeding down the road. But you said he's 2,200 pounds. Like, he can't. It's surely someone can go, look, there's, there he is. There, like, let's go get him.
I'm sure if you're far enough away, it's fine. But also, if you're thinking that way and you're like, how bad could it be? He's huge, he can't get me, and you get close to him, I'm sure it's pretty easy for him just to squish you and jump on top of you. And
listen, and I know when it comes to particularly like animal stories like this, there's a lot of people have a foot in both camp where we're sort of like, well, yes, it's an animal, it's his natural environment, and so who are we to say that he can't move around as he pleases? But then, like you said, it also becomes to a certain point a safety concern. So I'm sure it's a matter of removing him safely, keeping him safe, but then also making sure that other people are safe too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, people want to post videos of him and then they go viral, and so they're just asking people to give him his privacy and let him wreak havoc in peace, I guess.
Well, then also too, it's like, how they have to tell people oftentimes at like national parks, like not to go stick your camera in a buffalo's face. Like, I'm sure that a huge part of this story and the people in that area is just asking for common sense, which I know sometimes can be asking for a lot.
Yeah, true. And I mean, there's places like in Hawaii where they have the seals or the sea turtles and they ask you to stay away from them, give them their space. But of course, people always break those rules and do it. And so it's a warning that they have to give, but, whether people will end up following it, we'll see.
Yeah. Iris and I were just in San Francisco, and they literally have sort of like a viewing area where you can just hang out because there's another area where the seals hang out. So I think we need to get, did you say his name was Neil? Neil the seal?
Neil the seal.
Oh, Neil.
And Jake, I have a friend here.
Neil the seal!
Could you please let Tia Ewing know that until 3 o'clock, this is my show? So, listen.
It's our show, Jake.
You know what? If you got free time, get up here and help me host this thing.
Yeah. She just can't stand sharing the spotlight. I had to join in on my shoot.
I asked Tia, did she want to join me for this hour? And she lovingly told me no. What is she doing?
I'm here, Jake.
Every time we come back, you're in a different place. What is...
Oh, Tia.
I just did this 5-minute monologue about this hardworking newsroom that we all work in. And every shot... Okay, go back. Let's see where she is now.
Do you?
No, listen. You know what's so funny, Tia Ewing? I will say this is true. I was on a shoot earlier. And Stefan and I were just talking about how amazing of a journalist you are, and that you do really. No, I'm not blowing smoke. Sasha's laughing. Sasha's laughing across the newsroom, but just you do really amazing stories. Tia, do you have a particularly great story that you're working on today?
Yeah, I am working on. You probably already talked about it, right?
I have not yet.
Go ahead, talk about it.
I didn't write it in my notes.
She didn't write it in her notes. Okay, so I'm doing a story today. Mayor Johnson is doing his first version, and it may be the last, we don't know, of basically the reverse of the teen takeover. We know a lot of the teens had come out and said that they wanted a safe space. And so tonight is the first time that we're seeing where the mayor seemingly has addressed what the teens said was a concern, that they wanted, some activities where they can let loose things that they wanted to do in a safe, contained environment. It's going to happen in West Garfield Park at the YMCA. So we got a chance to talk to some violence interrupters before the event to see if they believe this will change, what we know as teen takeovers. And then we heard from Alderman Ray Lopez, who's a little skeptical about these teen takeover, this first pop-up event, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's the story that I worked on today. But we've covered teen takeovers before. We've talked to teens. So Sloan knows, I've had it in her show before. So that's the story that I have tonight. And we'll see what happens. Is this like a test for the city of Chicago to do this, to see how many teens actually show up? If this does prevent the teen takeover problem, we don't know, but that is what we can only assume by the timing of this event. So we're going to be there tonight to see who shows up. And if indeed the mayor announces, maybe he'll come out and say, this isn't the only one. We're planning some others in the future. So,
well, you know,
that's what we got, Jakey Jake.
It's going to be really interesting. Your story, if someone didn't see it, fox32chicago.com. It was a brilliant story you did not too long ago in regard to the teen takeovers and some of the young men that were sort of leading it. Is it safe to say that, you know, if they host this event tonight and people don't show up, that the people who have been vocal against the teen takeovers have more ammunition to go, look, see, we are doing our best, we're creating these events, and it doesn't matter because they're not showing up?
Yeah, I think you're right. And here's the thing, right? There's been a talk from a lot of those people who are against these teen takeovers. I mean, who is it? I don't know anybody who's pro a teen takeover except for the teens doing it. So I think a lot of those leaders that we've heard from that have tried to interrupt this and stop this will agree, and they've already said it, that they don't believe these teens want this type of event anyway. So yeah, it will be interesting to see the numbers. And are we going to see teens that typically would go to city events? We don't know. You can't assume that even if it's a packed house, that these teens represent the teens that would have attended a teen takeover. And I'm sorry to take over your line. I feel like I'm talking about takeover now. But there's nothing that will dictate, you know, are they going to do a questionnaire to say, hey, were you previously at a teen takeover? So there's no way to know that this is that same group. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Hey, Tia Ewing, can I show you something?
Sure, what you got?
Are you watching? Look, watch. See that? That's a second microphone.
I'll be up there, Jake. Okay,
you head up right now.
I got to gather my things because when I'm done with Chicago Live, I'm going to enjoy my weekend like everyone else.
Right,
I'm on my way. And somebody just threw something at me. They're sick of me here.
I promise.
I'm gone. Bye.
I promise.
Back to her live. This is Sloan's moment. Okay.
Stop being Sloan's moment a long time ago.
I know, I'm like half deaf in one of my ears now. She's yelling behind me.
Sloan, I'm assuming maybe it's because you're saving the best for last, but I noticed you haven't mentioned the story that I have on in the 4 o'clock.
Why don't you talk about that? Because it's not in the 5, so I'm not too familiar about that one.
Oh, well, it's going to be very interesting. Basically, we have Academy Award winner Christopher Nolan. Maybe you know him from films like the Dark Knight trilogy or Inception, The Prestige. So many great films. He has a movie.
Ooh, The Prestige is a good one.
Prestige
I like that
is a great one. He just won like a gazillion Oscars for a film called Oppenheimer a few years back.
That's the one that came out when Barbie came out, right?
It was half of Barbenheimer. Okay. He has a new movie coming out in 2 weeks called The Odyssey. And listen, Christopher Nolan, he is an iconic British director. He was born and raised basically in London. But what if I told you that he actually spent a ton of his childhood right here in the city of Chicago? His mom actually was from Evanston, and so he spent a ton of time here in Chicago. And in fact, Christopher Nolan is most synonymous with creating movies, shooting movies in IMAX, like, you know, big, giant action sequences in IMAX, right? Uh-huh. And The Odyssey coming out is the very first time in cinema history that an entire feature film has been shot in IMAX. Normally, when you go see a movie in IMAX, most of the movies like that, and then when you hit a sequence shot in IMAX, it fills the whole screen. This is a movie that is the whole screen the entire time, and he very much credits the city of Chicago with being that filmmaker, being the IMAX. He tells me stories about, as a 14-year-old kid, going to the Museum of Science and Industry, they used to have an IMAX at Great America, like these experiences he had in our city, this little British kid in the city of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And he tells me that The Odyssey does not exist as a film, the one we're about to see in 2 weeks. It does not exist unless he's right here in the city of Chicago.
That's so cool.
That's my
fun.
story. That's what I got. That's
a great one. Can't wait to see it.
What else you got?
I'm trying to think. It's weather, so it looks like, I'm trying to look out the window, it looks like the rain has died down a little bit, but Mark, I just talked to him. He said there could be some more showers coming. And so it's kind of a big question mark. A lot of places do fireworks tonight. So will those happen? Aurora already canceled, or I guess postponed their fireworks for tonight. They were supposed to be tonight. Now they're next Friday because they said of storms last night and from, the possible storms that are happening tonight. And so that's something that we're just going to be keeping an eye on throughout the night.
We were just talking with someone out at Oakbrook, and they pushed back the opening of Taste of Oakbrook. It felt like that string of storms came up on us really quickly. It kind of just felt like, we were up here getting ready for this show, and then it was like sort of the gates opened and just the flooding came through. Is it looking like I don't think we have like a radar up here. Is it looking
still
like
dark
it's pushing
out there,
out? Oh,
but
it is. We can see it.
It doesn't look like it's raining anymore. I wonder if I can. No, the camera won't show it if I move it.
Well, we can see. Just from our perspective, yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Get
it's still gross
Tia
out
to
there.
go wipe off the lens since she's got so much free time that she can't come up here. Tell her to go wipe the lens off the shed camera. I can tell you that about 15, 20 minutes ago, I couldn't see a lot of the buildings in the skyline directly ahead of me, and now I can see them. They're hazy, but I can see them a little bit more. So it looks like it's kind of clearing out a little bit. So we have Mark Strell doing weather today.
Yes, you'll have Mr. Mark Strell. I think he'll probably come up there with you guys at some point. Oh, I guess not you, with Tia.
Yeah. Tia gets to do the weather segment.
Yeah.
All right, really quick. I just want to, I was talking earlier sort of about, and this wasn't meant to be hyperbolic, the metaphor and everything. Can you sort of just really quick, I know we have you on the show a lot, and we have you sort of talking about the headlines that you're going throughout the day. Like right now, so you're doing the 5 o'clock show. So you were just about 2.5 hours from your show kicking off. Where are you at in your day right now?
So right now, I spend the first couple hours of my day picking out the stories and organizing them of where I want them in the show. Sorry, I can see myself in the monitor behind me. I'm trying to block it. It's distracting me.
It keeps going.
But it's mirrored. Okay, there we go. And so then once I have that, then I spend the rest of the day writing all the stories. And so right now, and I work bottom up. Some people like to work top to bottom or just kind of jump all over the place. So I work bottom up. So right now I'm in my B block. So I'm kind of finishing up the show writing wise and working with the reporters, seeing what they're doing, what they need from me. And we do have Liz Duwicki, I think I might be saying her name wrong, our new anchor who just started working here, and she's going to be anchoring the 4 and the 5 tonight. So I'm excited to work with her for the first time. And so just making sure if she has any questions about how we do things here, just checking in with her.
And she gets to co-anchor the 4 o'clock with Terrence Lee, is that right?
She does. She has the pleasure of co-anchoring the show. She has the opportunity, as we like to say, to anchor with Terrence Lee.
Listen, I would, and again, and I hope he's listening. Terrence Lee, if I'm new to a market or even new in the industry, I know Liz is not, but potentially new in the industry, I would beg for the opportunity to get to share a desk with Terrence Lee. He truly is, I think, one of the most genuinely giving and gifted people to be able to sit at a desk and just be able to share a show with, and we're lucky enough to be friends with him, but to be able to sit at a desk with him would be fantastic as well. Now I'm going to say all those things, and I bet he's not even listening. I bet he's not even watching the show.
I guarantee you, he is not listening right now.
He is definitely not listening. All right.
We'll clip it.
Sloan, we appreciate you as always. I gave you that little monologue off the top so you can clip it for your reel. And we appreciate you. Go get back to work. And for the love of God, send Tia up here, because all she did was just give me 15 minutes worth of proof that she could have done this show with me.
All right, Jake. Goodbye.
Bye, Sloan. We going to break? For the love of God, we're going to break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Just about 2:19 here on Chicago Live. Really quick, we want to take one of the cameras right outside. We want to give you a little bit of update of what's going on with the weather. I'm going to be honest with you. I am judging my entire perception of the forecast and the weather just like you often do by just looking out the window. We don't have any of the meteorologists up here to let me know exactly what's going on, but from my eyeball, it looks like it may have passed through. I can tell you, we were here in the studio. We got a couple of windows around us, and it was pouring down rain. I could not see any of the buildings far from us here downtown in the Loop. Things have cleared up from our perspective. I can see people walking around. People are walking down the street. I see people walking down Lake Street. They're still holding up umbrellas, so it might still be sprinkling. But that downpour, that really bright red strip of rain that just moved its way east toward us, it looks like it's, for the most part, cleared its way out. So any festivities that are going to be going on might be delayed, but hopefully they're still going to be happening maybe a little bit later today. So we're going to keep you updated on the weather. We've got some really great stuff coming up. Lauren's on her way up. She's going to tell us about a really important story that she is working on. We're going to be talking with someone. Listen, as much as we talk about 4th of July festivities, there's always something we need to keep in mind, which is how we're feeling about the pets, how our furry friends are feeling at home, because let's be honest, we may love the fireworks, but there's a good chance that they do not. And then we're also going to be talking with the deputy editor of CBR.com, comic book resources, award-winning author Sean O'Connell, about the best movies to watch this 4th of July season. But for now, Chicago Live continues. We roll on. The show rolls on. We'll go to break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Just about 2:23 on Chicago Live. You see, Tia Ewing, other people can come up and help host this show. It is entirely possible. I gave Tia a hard time because she's taking over the show at 3 o'clock, and I said, you know, you could come up and help me get through the 2 o'clock and then just take over. And she said she was too busy.
Oh, but she had a good time in that
busy.
control
Oh, she had a great time in that control room.
I was busy. I was typing away,
Listen,
but I kept on looking up, and I saw her in slow, and I was like, what's going on?
Tia Ewing likes any room where there are multiple monitors with her face on it. That's Tia Ewing's heaven.
I was smiling just watching it all go down.
It was honestly, that's what I just did. Sasha and I were saying, Sasha's our amazing producer behind the scenes. I said, well, why wasn't that just the show? We could have just done that for 2 hours.
Easily.
Yeah, be careful. The ratings go up too much. It's going to be the Jake, Tia, and Sloan show for 2 hours. hours.
a good job, otherwise
yeah,
it
exactly.
becomes permanent.
Deliver the impossible becomes part of your job description. Listen, first of all, before we get into the stories that you've been covering, because you're covering multiple stories.
Yeah.
How are you doing? You're a few weeks in. You're doing a great job. They threw you on a lot of different shows, which can be a lot to handle. How's it going?
Jake, you are so sweet for asking. Thank you so much. I started March 16th, so what are we at? Almost 4 months now? It's hard to believe. Part of me feels like it's been 40 years.
Yeah.
It's been forever. Like I was always here, but part of me feels like I just got here yesterday. I think it's in part to just so many amazing people, you know? I mean, just seeing you guys in the hallway and saying hi to people and checking in on things, like it really does just feel like I've been here for such a long time and like you guys are already such great friends. So thank you for that.
Of course. Well, you know, one of the great things, we have so many amazing team members that are sort of joining the Fox 32 family now. It's crazy to say that you're not the newest person anymore. So have you, in your time here since March, learned things that you can now pass down to like the new kid now that you're technically not the new kid on the block anymore?
It's so funny that you say that because I have, of course, introduced myself to all of our new Fox family members, and I've said, let me know if I can do anything to help you, even if it's just someone's name, because there are so many names that you have to remember. But being able to be that person that people can ask for help is kind of cool. Teaching people how to put stuff into the system or whatever. Like I feel really, really excited to be able to do that. I'm still learning so much, but yeah, that's a weird kind of transition where you're like, oh, I get to show people how to do stuff now.
Yeah, it's a weird. Once you get 13 years into this place, and then you go, oh my god, how is this possible?
I don't think I'll ever get over going to communities that I've known for my whole entire life, though, and doing stories there, or just like hearing, oh, that happened over in Elmhurst or wherever it is. It's like, oh my god, I know all of these places, and of course for 9 years, I was in places that weren't home, and so I was like, okay, wait, what is Longmont, or what does Traverse City mean? And now I'm just like, oh, where are we going? Okay, that's straight up 290, or whatever it is.
You're in. See, you're sold. It took moments, mere moments. Listen, we're lucky if when we come in, if we're able to grab one great story and sort of make that our story for the day. Sometimes we're struggling trying to find a story. You actually ended up having two today that you ended up sort of being able to follow. A scooter crash, which can be. It's so funny that you were telling me about this, because we've been seeing, Iris and I just see people sometimes on scooters just flying by, like at the speed that like sometimes it feels like a car is flying by. And I always think, God forbid, if something happened, you hit a pothole in this city of all cities, something serious could happen.
Oh, easily, and it's not just like yourself that you're putting in danger, it's other people around you that you're putting in danger.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened in this story here too. So I just got off the phone with this guy. He's 74, he's retired.
Oof.
He delivers food on the side, just kind of here and there, when he can, when he feels like it. So he was doing his last run of the day. Like, this was the last house that he was going to, and he said that he had just parked his car, he was on the sidewalk, he was bringing his food into this to the place that he was delivering it at, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets hit by a scooter. This was a couple days ago. This was July 1st. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and so he gets hit by the scooter, and he's on the ground. The girl who hit him is on the ground, and it's just kind of like disorienting, right? I mean, you just got hit out of nowhere on this scooter. And so they both got up. He asked this girl if she had an ID on her. And the girl said, no, I don't have an ID. And he said, well, how old are you? And she said 14, which brings up another kind of situation. She's young, right? So then she ended up running away. She left the scooter there. She ran away. And so the guy thought, you know what, maybe she's going to go get her parents. She said that her house was close by. The guy said, any reasonable person probably would have gone to go get their parents and bring them back and kind of figure out what was going on. She never came back. He called the police. He said that the police didn't end up coming. It was just taking a really long time. He ended up going to the hospital. He went to Rush Oak Park to get this thing looked at. And he says that he's got just scrapes and bruises all over his face. He said it's in 4 or 5 different spots. He said he got a knee injury because of all of this. And, things just aren't the same. And it's really traumatizing.
Yeah, of course.
Think about the emotional toll that takes on you, too, right? I mean, I would be afraid walking on the sidewalk. I'd be looking all around like, what just happened? Is there anyone near me, or are there any things that could get into my way? I don't know. It's scary.
And luckily, he's walking away from this, and he's able to, but like, it could have been a lot worse too. I mean, what happens when something like that happens and the story doesn't end quite as positively? Like, it could have been bad.
Exactly. So he's really frustrated for a couple reasons. One, because she's 14, she's young. 2, because he doesn't know who this person is. He said that Lime would be able to track her down, but Lyme needs police to get in touch with them. Like, this guy can't just go to
Sure.
Lyme and say, hey, this is what happened. Like, police need to go to Lyme. So he's hoping that that happens. He just filed a police report, but he's also aggravated that she was on the sidewalk, according to him,
Yep.
because those scooters aren't
Supposed to be on the street.
sidewalk.
Same with
Yeah,
bikes. Bikes
yes.
are supposed to be on the street. and-
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I always laugh whenever someone on a bike zooms past, me and Iris, and they yell at us, get out of the way, and I'm just like, you're not even supposed to be here.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah,
So
exactly right.
we ended up talking to him. He doesn't want to go on camera, understandably
Sure.
so. So we're not going to end up turning that story. But that was just some information that we got today. Just a reminder to just be careful, especially this weekend, Jake, when there are so many
Yes.
people out and about, walking around. Just be careful, pay attention to your surroundings, because you never know what's going to come out of nowhere.
I always remind people, particularly, if you're a tourist visiting town, here with your friends, here with your family, you're not the cast of Friends. You don't have to walk 5 in a row. You can walk, 2 or 3 in a line. You don't have to take up the whole sidewalk.
Yes.
It's everybody's sidewalk.
If
but
you were on the cast of Friends, who would you be?
Oh, I think it's not. Well, I always let Iris choose because Iris knows Friends better than I do. But I think she might be Monica and I might be Chandler because I think I'm too sarcastic for my own good.
Yeah, no,
so
I can see you.
Iris is going to text me in just a moment to either confirm or deny whether or not I'm right about that.
Iris put me in a group chat. I want to see too.
Yeah, she'll let me know. But then you have another story, which is a huge story that you're working on for our PM shows.
Yeah, so of course we're always, looking at what's going on in Highland Park when it comes to 4th of July. This is something that we talked about on The Loop this morning as well. This is one of the very first interviews that we had today because it is just so important to check in and see what's going on over there since 2022. Just a really, really sad day. 7 people died, dozens of other people hurt in that mass shooting there.
And it's got to be such just for lack of a better word, just such a strange day for them because obviously 4th of July tends to be a day of celebration and festivities and happiness, but obviously it is a horrifying anniversary of which I'm sure that they're looking to move past, but then also not forget at the same time. So it's got to be really interesting for them around this time of year.
You said almost exactly what she said earlier on Zoom when she was joining us. She said, how do we move forward together without forgetting ever what happened? And that's exactly what they're trying to do. So they've got a couple changes this year. They really just want to celebrate and also remember. They weren't really doing any of that celebrating these last couple of years. So they're bringing back the fireworks this year.
Love that.
And so we asked, how do you go about having that conversation of bringing those fireworks back? And she said, honestly, it's really, really hard because you have people who are ready to celebrate, who are ready to, kind of have that traditional 4th of July feeling in the community that they had for years and years. But then, of course, understandably, you also have people who don't want to hear fireworks ever again.
I get that.
Or something like that.
I get that.
It's like, how do you kind of cater to both of those instances? But she said that as a group and after hearing a lot of community feedback, they decided that this was the right time to put those fireworks into place. So they are coming back. And they've got a lot of other stuff going on too. She said that they're going to have an ABBA tribute band, which is awesome. So that'll be so fun. And plenty of food and other music and dance. It's just all the good stuff to kind of honor the 4th of July
Love
tonight.
that.
They're going to celebrate, America 250 tomorrow, so they've got the parade tomorrow and just all sorts of good stuff going on. But she said it's really just about celebrating, but also remembering. I wrote down some of the things that she said because I thought it was really, really powerful. She said that she hopes people feel connected and supported and the specialness of Highland Park because it is America's hometown. And I thought that was really, really well said.
I love that. And when can we see that story?
Yeah, so this is going to be at 4 and 5 tonight. So putting it together right now, like I said, I was typing away as Tia was on here.
You're turning this very quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hop up here really quickly and let you guys know what was going on. So that's what we have coming your way tonight.
And we appreciate you doing it. Lauren, thank you. You're crushing it so far. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for popping up here. Unlike Tia Ewing, who did not come up here and hang out with us. Wait, no, there she's here. She's here. Wait, never mind. I can't say anything. She's here.
I better go before she comes over here.
Look at her.
I don't want to be in the path of destruction over here.
All right, guys. Chicago Live rolls on. We'll be right back. Welcome back to 35 on Chicago Live. Look who joined the show.
I know, the big old orange is here.
I
couldn't help it. I mean, I'm wearing this bright orange dress. I had to say it. But yeah, it's good to be here with you.
It's good to see you. You're officially taking over at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I truly, that little moment that you and Sloan and myself had, we could just make that the show.
We always have fun, though.
We do always have fun. And it's a good sort of little insight into letting people know really what life is like in the newsroom, because oftentimes, we exist for people in this little rectangle.
Yeah, that's true.
And but you know what? We're friends behind the scenes.
I guess
some
you
of
would
us
call me like the big sister / class clown of the group.
Yeah, I'd see that. But you know what? But also, a big sister's a good nickname just because of the protectiveness.
That's true.
I would describe you in a way that you could give me a hard time, you could kind of
I do.
But if someone else did, I could see you. Yeah, I could see you stepping in.
It's true.
Yeah, and okay, now I'm going to make fun of you. So Tia Ewing said something earlier in the newsroom today.
What did I say?
What was the phrase you used? So whenever I'm on stage, and it was in reference to you.
Who knows? I say all kinds of crazy things.
Perry was giving you a hard time. One of our producers, Perry, was giving you a hard time whenever you're on stage.
And I was talking about the event that I'm hosting.
Exactly. That was a segue
Thank you. Good job,
into
Good job.
the event.
When you get old, sometimes you forget what you said 2 hours ago. Anywho, you'll learn when you get there.
What do you got going on?
I'm hosting an event tomorrow at Concert at the Hall in Madison. Some people say it's Matson.
It doesn't matter what you say. Half the people are going to email in and say you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, and I've had that happen to me before. But that's where I will be. It starts at 4 o'clock. They're doing this in honor of America's 250th birthday. That. They do this anyway, but this one will be special. They're going to honor the lives of Jesse Jackson Sr. Okay. They're also going to honor the life of Spencer Leak Jr., who we know was monumental in the community from a legacy funeral home. So they're going to do that. But in addition to that, they're going to have Anthony Hamilton be the headliner of this. But they have bouncy houses, they have food trucks, they have all the things that you want all at one place. So you don't have to jump around and go to all these different festivals. And they have the grand finale, the fireworks.
Love that. And
I'm there.
I mean, let's...
Come on now.
That's it. That's it.
No, I'm kidding.
Most importantly, it is how much to come.
It is absolutely free, which in this economy is really, really tough to go out with a family.
No joke.
I have a family of several individuals, and when we go out, it's like a vacation sometimes to some of this stuff. So to be able to go for free, and maybe you don't want to do the food trucks, maybe you don't have money for that. You can pack your little sandwiches, your little Lunchables. Come on out, have a chair. You do need a folding chair to be able to sit down, and everything from that point on is just free entertainment for you. They're also going to have about $2,500, if not more. I may be actually shortchanging them in giveaways. There's a grocery store giveaway, so maybe you're that person that's having a tough time, paying for groceries because it's expensive. They're going to have that. Different restaurants within the community. So yes, it's free, but you could also leave with something.
Love it.
Yeah, TVs we've had last.
What do you mean TVs?
Last year, the year before last. Yeah, people left with like 60-inch TVs.
I'm coming out.
Now listen, you got to have some talent though, Jake, which we know you have.
Wait. You don't have to phrase it that way. What do you mean you have to have talent?
We know you have the gift of gab, but you got to have the gift of a little move. Okay, let me see you bust a move. What would be your go-to dance move?
Well, I find arms at a 90-degree angle, bite the bottom lip, and then just sway back and forth.
Oh, yeah, you're going to lose. You're gonna lose.
What, Sasha?
You're going to lose.
You got something to say?
You would lose. So there are dance-offs.
Okay.
A little trivia as part of this as well, which is always fun to see people dance. Birthday celebrations. If it's your birthday, you could, be one of the people invited on the stage to highlight that it's your birthday, and you could walk away winning something. So it really is a family-friendly time. And this year they do have even more police, which we know you need in this environment, the world we're living in. So it should be a good time. It usually goes from like 4 to 9-ish. Hopefully it's on time, and hopefully the weather cooperates. Yeah, we know some rain.
We just blew through. Let people know one more time when and where it's happening. Is there a website where they can get more information?
Madison, and you literally can just put in your maps, Madison Police Department. Once you get there, you're gonna see everything you need to know. From there, you can park your car. They'll direct you to parking, and it runs from 4 until. And I say until because we don't know if it rains. That could put a damper on things starting on time. But normally it starts exactly on time.
And until, because, Tia Ewing just left a party that started 3 weeks ago. She just left
What party?
Well, you know that party.
Oh, okay.
You know that party. You know that party.
We need a talk show together.
We really do.
This would be so lit.
Do you still charge for selfies or only if you smile?
I've never charged one person for a selfie. No. My only caveat is that please edit me. If I look stupid, I don't care what app you got to go into. Edit me to look better.
Be careful because you're giving people permission to do that. You're going to come out with a Joker smile.
That's fine.
You're going to come out with 18 different filters on your face.
I mean, that's the future of AI anyway, so I'll take it.
That is the direction the direction that we're going.
All right, Big Daddy Jake. About to be a daddy.
BDJ.
Yeah.
Oh, any tips? You're
Any
an
tips on
amazing
being a parent?
Yeah, you're an amazing parent.
Ooh,
You're an amazing mother.
put the phone down, be present,
Yep.
pay attention, and most importantly, be a good listener.
Oh, that's a good.
That tells you everything.
Yep.
If you just listen more than you try to talk to you can talk to your kid. I'm not saying don't talk to your kids, but listening is the biggest thing. You'll learn you think, okay, they're going to school, everything is good. You'll learn about different kids in their classroom, things that they're learning from other kids.
Yep.
Very, very important to be a good listener.
What have you picked up on by I mean, you're a natural listener.
What have I
anyway.
picked up on?
Yeah.
That these kids are crazy. And it starts at a young age.
Yeah. Because it's tough because they're
giving us the rap.
They're giving us the rap. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
we gotta go. We'll talk about it later on our podcast that we're gonna launch.
They really should give us. They should give us a show.
I know.
The
Jake and
Tia
Tia. Jake and they should flip them. Like every day will be different.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Okay,
All right, Tia
I'm outta
Ewing,
here.
you the best.
Peace
All right,
out.
guys, we gotta go to break. Don't go anywhere. For the love of God, we'll be right back. Welcome back to 44 on Chicago Live. Listen, we're talking a lot about 4th of July celebrations and America 250 and all the fun and festivities you can have here in Chicago and around the area and around the country. But listen, as great as the fireworks are, we all know that our furry friends, whether they be your dogs or your cats, they don't like them as much as we do. I know that my two dogs, not a fan. And for the love of God, if we're outside when they start going off, we are in trouble. 4th of July, one of the scariest, most dangerous days for pets out of any day of the year. We're going to talk with Dr. Gary Richter, who is an author of 3 best-selling pet health books, founder of Ultimate Pet Nutrition, and the recipient of America's Favorite Veterinarian Award by the American Veterinarian Medical Foundation. Doctor, that is one hell of an intro, sir. Well done.
Well, I thank you, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Listen, I mean, you know, if you're a dog owner as I am, some of this might sound like common sense, but I always say it's always good to be reminded because, you're walking outside and you forget the fireworks are about to go off, and next thing you know, your dog is scared and runs away, and now you have a missing dog. It's important to remember, that this can be a dangerous day. Can you let people know, some of the things that they might need to be reminded of as we head into this day?
Sure. I think the two things to keep in mind, as you brought up, fireworks can be really, really concerning for dogs. Remember, they have no idea what these things are. They just know it's a lot of noise, and it can be very frightening for them. So if you have the kind of dog that is nervous around loud noises, keep them indoors. Make sure they're not someplace where they can run away and get lost. Clearly that's dangerous for them, and it's certainly not any way anybody wants to spend their 4th of July is looking for their lost dog. The other thing to think about, which is unrelated to fireworks, is sort of 4th of July festivities from the standpoint of picnics, things of this nature. You really want to make sure that you keep your dog away from, kind of the 4th of July food, barbecue, things that are spiced, salted, what have you. There's a lot of stuff that's normally served around this time of year that can be dangerous or even toxic to dogs. So just be really careful, keep your dog someplace safe, and don't let them get into things that could be dangerous for them.
If you know that you're going to be gone, if you're going to be out with friends, and you're going to be leaving the dogs at home, and you know that fireworks are going to be going off in the area, are there things to do to make life easier for them? Maybe shut the blinds or turn on the TV?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Find some place in the house that's relatively quiet, maybe like an interior room. Give them someplace comfy to be. Whether it's the television or music or something, turn the volume up so there's some background noise, and that way, hopefully they'll be a little bit less concerned. And you know your dog best. Some dogs are going to be fine under those circumstances if you leave them alone. Some of them not. And we certainly don't want to set up a situation where the dog gets scared and maybe does something destructive in the house. So keep your couch in mind while you're doing this.
I've never really been into giving my dogs treats to calm them down that might have something in them that might mellow them out a little bit. It's not something I've ever done. Is that a thing that you recommend?
It's a little bit variable to the animal based on their medical history and whatnot. But certainly there are over-the-counter supplements out there that are designed to be calming. The one thing to remember with these sorts of products, and even pharmaceuticals that you might get from your veterinarian for this sort of thing, you have to start giving them before the fireworks happen. If you wait until your dog's already frightened and spun up from all that noise, nothing is going to work.
It's great advice, particularly for all of us who love our dogs and cats. Dr. Gary Richter, one more. Can you let people know where they can find more information?
Yeah, you bet. They can find me on Instagram at PetVetExpert, and you can find lots more information at UltimatePetNutrition.com.
Fantastic. Doctor, as always, we appreciate you, sir. This is really valuable advice, not just this weekend, but every day of the year. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Coming up on the other side of this break, we are talking the best 4th of July movies ever with the deputy editor of CBR.com, my friend Sean O'Connell, coming up right here on Chicago Live. We'll be right back. 2:51 on Chicago Live and everywhere for that matter. Don't adjust your television. You're not watching the Saturday and Sunday morning broadcast of Good Day Chicago.
Everywhere in this time zone.
Yeah, exactly
Just
right.
this time
Listen, this is the man, the myth, the legend, meteorologist, Mark Stroh. As I often begin Good Day Chicago when we're anchoring together,
Yeah,
my friend,
I always get a little slap.
my friend, Ira says, you gotta stop hitting them.
No, it's okay.
Listen,
I'm toughen up on that side.
You're very tough. You're up here for a very important reason. Man, that little string of storms we just had coming through here was no joke.
Yeah, there was a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it, but now here's a look at radar, and you can see most of it's safely out over the lake.
Good.
So no issues there. We do have another round of showers and thunderstorms likely to come later this evening, probably after 7. Some of those showers and thunderstorms likely to linger into the evening hours. There you can see the yellow. That's the severe thunderstorm watch box. That basically just means severe weather is possible. The good news is that watch box was a little more extended off to the northwest. You can see there's a little notch out of it on the upper left-hand corner, which kind of gets down to our neighborhood. That's good because it means that has been taken down. Not much to worry about. But as we go through the rest of the evening, we'll keep an eye on points south of Chicago. So tonight, tomorrow night, chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Still many dry hours for festivities for the Independence Day holiday. Sunday, about a 30% chance of showers. And here's the good news. Look at that. We start to cool off a little bit. Or, as we like to say, become not so hot.
Yeah.
83 on Sunday and 80 degrees on Monday. I think we'll still have a fair amount of humidity over the weekend, but nonetheless, things are improving gradually.
I'm not mad about it, Mark Stroh.
You can't be mad.
I'm not mad about it one bit. Hey,
if you want more of this, all you have to do is tune in every Saturday and Sunday morning on Fox 32 WFLD TV.
Good Day Chicago.
Good Day Chicago.
And you know what? With the two of us, it might even be
a
really
day.
Good. I don't want to take it that far.
You didn't want to say great?
I don't want to take it that far.
Okay.
No, it always a great day.
Yeah.
Love you, Mark Stroh.
All right, love you more.
Love you, buddy.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock.
All right, my friend. Appreciate you.
See you then.
All right, we got just about 7 minutes left in the show before Tia Ewing takes over, and I'm very excited about our next guest. Not only is he an award-winning author, he is the deputy editor of CBR.com, comicbookresources.com. Full disclosure, he and I used to host a podcast called Real Blend, a really great movie podcast that included such guests as Quentin Tarantino and Tom Hanks.
You always have the best guests.
We do our best. And honestly, full disclosure, he's also one of my best friends. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sean O'Connell. Sean, how are you, buddy?
I am great, man. What a joy to be on with you.
It is a joy to have you on the show. Listen, you and I could talk about 10,000 different things, but the reason I wanted to invite you on is because 30 years ago today, July 3rd, 1996, a little movie was released in theaters called Independence Day, which brought about an idea because people talk about often Christmas movies. What am I going to watch for Christmas? And they talk about Halloween movies. What movies do they watch for Halloween? But there are movies that people watch for the 4th of July, are there not?
Yes, some, but I don't know that they're necessarily about the 4th of July, but this used to be a frame where blockbusters would open and people would flock to the theaters because kids are off from school for this time of year, and we would have what we call the king of the 4th of July, which is Will Smith.
Exactly right.
He had Independence Day and Men in Black. So those are the kind of movies that I think about, the blockbuster summer movies that would bring people out regardless of whether it was a franchise or some type of genre that people wanted to go out and see. And I think we're missing those a little bit now. I don't know if studios still target July 4th as a frame where they want to release something. I guess we're going to have Minions that's probably going to do incredible, but I'm not sure that I chalked it up as like a 4th of July release like some of the other ones we're going to talk about.
It's so interesting that you bring that up because I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, yeah, that 4th of July weekend used to be, I mean, for, like you said, it was the Will Smith weekend for a long time in the 90s. And then I was recently rewatching War of the Worlds, which I forgot. That came out over 4th of July weekend. And then it kind of just sort of felt like it became a weekend that they used as a big second weekend for another movie. Like, what is there any particular reason why you think studios have backed off? Is it just because there are other things to do?
No, I think what happened is you're exactly right. Is some of the studios tried to go earlier, right? Like it would become the end of June where they would release. I think Warner Brothers probably hoped that Supergirl this year was going to be a bigger hit than it turned out to be. I know I'm wearing my Superman t-shirt at this point right now. I'm not trying to be a company person. But I guess they figured that Supergirl would have a bigger impact and maybe cash in. And then, moving it earlier bumped into Memorial Day weekend, so it became a bit of a traffic mess. But, this idea of grabbing a weekend well in advance, I think came in the wake of, some other really big films that dropped earlier on where people sort of realized we better claim these weekends ahead of time. And now people, with studios at least, are fighting for real estate space at the theaters. And a conversation that you and I have a lot of times as well, too, is just like, who's on the IMAX screens? Like, who's going to get the Dolby? Who's going to get the IMAX? And those decisions are made years in advance. And so if a movie can't get a proper IMAX release, sometimes they punt back to later in the year.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the new Spider-Man film that's coming out, is that July 31st?
It is.
Okay,
yes,
so let's think about that for a second. So we're talking about a weekend. 2 of the days of that weekend are in August. So while we might not have a massive 4th of July weekend at the box office this year, we're talking about kind of an August weekend that right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is projected to do over $200 million at the box office. Is that right?
Yeah, closer to 260 based on.
Wait, are we
on
talking
some of the
like
numbers that I saw
recently?
dropped.
Really, is that bigger than No Way Home?
If it holds that number, it would beat No Way Home for its opening weekend. But Jakey, you know this too. The opening weekend is becoming less important right now than the health of the industry for the entire year.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't think we have conversations so much anymore about. Because what was even? Do you remember what the movie was that opened the summer this year?
Oh, it was Devil Wears Prada.
Okay, good. See, okay, you remember, but you're in the
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go ahead, say it in a nice way, Sean. It's okay.
That wasn't an Avengers movie,
sure,
right? Or it wasn't a big sci-fi film that captured. I mean, yes, it was a sequel, a long-awaited sequel, and it ended up doing well. But, I don't think that we bank on these big holiday weekends the way that we used to. Now it's the year as a whole. It became, when movies started opening in February, and they were still, like, blockbusters would open then too, and the studios started grabbing any weekend that they can get, and now it's kind of cost the July 4th weekend. And I'm not saying that there aren't good things to go see in the theaters. There are plenty of things to go see. Some of them are even like really interesting independent films like The Invitation, or people are still going to see Obsession and Backrooms. It doesn't have to be the big IP anymore now on the 4th of July weekend.
You're not wrong. We have just a couple of minutes left. Really quick, my personal favorite film to watch this weekend is Jaws, which is, you and I have talked about many times before. In fact, one of the most famous lines from the movie takes place today on July 3rd, where, Murray Hamilton says, for God's sakes, tomorrow's the 4th of July. What stands to reason it's the 3rd of July when he's saying it. I'm going to put you on the spot. You are on live television at this moment. Sean O'Connell, is the shark the villain of Jaws?
No, I think it's the mayor. Is that what I say? Do I always say it's the mayor?
See, this is we put you on TV and then you're just wrong on live television. The villain is the shark, my friend.
The mayor is the problem in Jaws. He had the ability to shut down the beaches easily. He violated them for the greed of tourist dollars. He is the enemy. As we say, the shark was just doing shark things.
I've never seen a shark purposefully chase people and jump out of the water onto a giant boat.
That Kittner boy
had it coming.
Was at fault. Yeah, he was asking for it by going out there on that delicious-looking raft.
Oh boy, you and I could do this all day. Sean O'Connell, do me a favor. Let people know not just the website where they can find honestly the absolute best coverage of not just comic book superhero stuff, but all things Hollywood and pop culture. And then also you're an author of some really great books that people can find as well.
Sure. So CBR, if you guys want to read some of the nerdiest comic book coverage that you will find on the internet. And I also have 3 books if you guys want to dive a little bit deeper into my film analysis. I wrote a book about Bruce Willis and his filmography. I wrote a book about Spider-Man and his Hollywood history. And I wrote a book about the Justice League film that Zack Snyder filmed and the fight by his fans to get it released in theaters. It is appropriately titled Release the Snyder Cut, but just search for my name on Amazon and you'll find them there.
Fantastic. Sean O'Connell, you know what? Good to see you, my friend. It's like a flashback to our podcast, Real Blend, which is available as well. Sean O'Connell, good to see you, my friend. I'll talk with you soon. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, brother. Talk soon.
All right, man. All right, guys, that's it for me on Chicago Live. Tia Ewing's taking over. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Have a great rest of your day, a safe 4th of July weekend, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning with Mark Strell right here on Good Day Chicago. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for joining Chicago Live. I'm Tia Ewing. You'll have me here for the next hour with you as we go through a lot of the stories that we will be covering for you today. One story that we're going to unveil here is really interesting. I guess you would say unravel in some ways. This woman is absolutely phenomenal. Her name is Yinka Ogunbiyi, and she's actually a holder of a master's degree in engineering from Harvard, as well as an MBA, and had previously founded a smart cooking appliance company and started looking at braiding as a technical problem. And what she found out and what was created is absolutely phenomenal. We're going to talk to her in a little bit. We're also going to talk a little bit about, what do you do with your kids when it's really, really hot outside and maybe you're worried about their safety? You don't want them going outside. We're going to talk to a specialist all about that. This is the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. Then we're going to actually talk to a young man who is only in the 6th grade, but has figured out a way to clean up the environment. And he's actually doing something this weekend that you too can take part in. But I want to start out with talking to the founder of Halo Braid. We want to bring in Yinka Ogunbiyi into the conversation. Yinka, thank you so much for coming on Chicago Live with us this afternoon here in Chicago.
Hi, Tia. It's such a pleasure to be on live with you here and to chat about what we're building at Halo Braid.
Well, I am thankful that you are here. Unfortunately, I can't hear you through my IFB, so hopefully we get this working here as I try to listen in on this conversation with you. But I do want to start here as we work on this. I want to start with this part of the conversation. I don't know about you. It looks like you have braids in your hair right now. I've sat there over the years, 6 hours, 10 hours. Sometimes it takes so long that you have to come back the next day. And you're like, man, I just want to get this over with. Tell me about how you came up with this idea to begin with.
Yeah, the experience you've had is one that so many people have had, including myself. It takes hours to get your hair braided. For me, 6 hours, I've spent up to 4 days braiding my own hair. And each year around the world, almost 8 billion hours are spent braiding hair. So it's such a time-consuming practice. And it's not just time-consuming, I think, for the stylists that do this work as well. They're doing the same thing for hours and hours, and it really starts to degrade their hands. They get carpal tunnel, early onset arthritis, and it's a really painful process. So as we've been building Halo Braid, which is a braid assist device, which helps stylists finish braids faster, gently, and consistently, we've been building this to really speed up the process of getting your hair braided. So instead of it taking 6 hours, it can take half the time, and you can be out of the chair faster as well.
Let's talk about, really what it takes to get an idea like this off of the ground. Obviously, this is not yet in full-blown, circulation where we can walk into a store and get it just yet. But tell me about the crowdfunding part of this, because you've been able to do something that is absolutely phenomenal, which is get partners involved in this to believe in the same idea, some of which maybe braiding isn't a tradition in their own lives, but they've been able to help you crowdfund with this. Talk about the money that you've been able to raise so far, and really what the next steps are to get this, in the hands of everyday people like myself.
Yeah, so it's so exciting. We first won $250,000 in pitch competition winnings, and then we closed a $7 million round of fundraising led by Alexis Ohanian at 776 and other venture capital firms. And as you said, many of these people don't get their hair braided, but they may know people who have had that experience of spending hours and hours with the process. And even if you haven't had your hair braided, I think you can imagine, getting a haircut and it taking 6 hours, costing hundreds of dollars, and doing that every 6 to 8 weeks is such a kind of onerous process. And so what we're really trying to do is revitalize that process, and we're so excited to have so much backing behind us to support us in that vision. We're launching in fall this year, so people will start to get their hair to experience the Halo Braid effect in salons. And we're starting in the Northeast and then doing pilots and pop-ups around the country. So we're really excited to be able to do hairstyles like yours very, very soon.
What is your hope with this? This new device that you've come up with, is your hope that this would be in widespread circulation where we can go into our big box stores, walk in and get it at the local store, maybe a Walgreens, for example, here in Chicago, maybe even a Target. I don't know, where you plan to have it. But is that your goal, to make this where everyone can get it? And do you even have at this point kind of like an idea of what even a price point of something like this would be?
Yeah, so it's our intent to make braiding as accessible as possible. Right now we have over 7,000 salons and stylists on our waitlist, and we're also talking to the largest salon chain that offers braiding in the country. So we'd be really excited to be in your typical kind of family-owned small braiding shop, but also in large retailers with salons like Ulta Beauty, JCPenney, Walmart as well. So we're really excited about this. And as far as price point is concerned, accessibility is our top priority. So the way this works is we're not charging any salons or stylists upfront for this device. What we're doing is we only make money when they make money. And that ensures that salon stylists who make their living braiding hair and are passionate about it are able to grow their business without damaging their bodies from the process of braiding or taking up hours of their time as well.
Yinka, I want you to talk about this device because when I looked it up online, there are a lot of AI videos of this, right? You see, and I'm sure you've seen it too, where it's this device that looks like a hand, right? And I've seen several videos of that, but that is not what this is. This isn't a situation where you're going to sit down with freshly, washed hair, blow dried hair, and get ready for the braids. There is something that the human part comes into play in all of this. Explain how it actually works.
Yeah, so the way the device works is that a stylist starts each braid. Each braid is started by hand and then finished by Halo up to 5 times faster than a stylist can finish it. So the human and the stylist is a core part of this. Their creativity, their artistry goes into each hairstyle that's created, and our device is designed as a braid assist device. So it's just to help stylists finish the braids faster. And we see that as the most repetitive part. That's where most of the time is spent, but it's not where the creativity and artistry is. So it's funny, we saw those, kind of made up robot videos, and we kind of laughed because we were like, that's not our product at all. That's not our intention. And on our website, halobraid.com, you can see what our real intention is, which is to serve and help stylists.
Yinka, I looked at this and I said, wow, this is incredible. And It's clear that you did a lot of homework, right? You did a lot of work to even get to the point of understanding the need that is out there. And it is a need. This is filling a huge need for a lot of people. I think a lot of times people think, when they hear braids, they think it's synonymous with black people, but there's a lot of people out there, not just black folks or people of African descent that get braids. And so I want you to talk about this survey and what you found out. I want to start with this part, that it says that you found out that people spend an estimated 8 billion hours braiding hair each year. Talk about that, and then talk about the people that were surveyed.
Yeah, sure. So 8 billion hours are spent braiding hair each year globally. And then we surveyed 2,000 people who wear braids regularly, and 95% of them said they get their hair braided more often if it were faster. So we're seeing time as the biggest barrier to people getting their hair braided as much as they want to. We've also talked to hundreds of people who used to get braids or have never gotten braids who want to, but they're put off by how much time it takes. They don't have 6-8 hours of their day to give up. And you really have to give up a lot to get your hair braided currently. People are giving up their weekends. People are giving up vacation days to get their hair braided. So we're really trying to address that problem. And you're right, braiding is such a global and broad kind of tradition. It's the most popular hairstyle for almost 20 million Americans, probably hundreds of millions of people around the world. So it really is global and extremely popular. And it's only getting more and more popular each year. So we're excited to be at this time where it's kind of crucial that we can speed up braiding and make the process more enjoyable.
So I know, Yinka, you have this device already that, hopefully you... Clearly from our conversation here, we want it to go to market. We all do. I mean, I could use it like tomorrow when I go get my hair redone. I want to talk to you about, what I love about what I've read about you so far. You're not just a right now thinker, you're also a forward thinker. So you're already thinking about a device that will then take the braids down. Where are you with that so far?
We're in the early stages of R&D for various processes. We are a technology for textured hair company. And what we see are the needs of textured hair, the textured hair community haven't been served. So we look at the whole process of getting your hair styled, be it braiding or other hairstyles, and we see opportunities to make it faster, more enjoyable. So I think, getting your hair braided takes 6 hours. Getting your hair unbraided takes 6 hours as well. There's so much time that we can save and so many people we can help make that process much more joyful and quicker.
For when we will see Halo Braid in maybe our local store online for sale, what would you say? And have you already figured out maybe a price point for this?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, we're not charging upfront for this device. It's really important to us that any salon or stylist who wants to use it finds it accessible and can introduce it into their practice. We take a small fee per appointment. And so what that means is that when the stylist makes money, we make some amount of money. And we're ensuring that the stylist can see as many people as they want to and also grow their business. And so we have right now 7,000 salons on our wait list, and we're really excited to provide the service to them.
A stylist wants this in their salon. Is there a training video? Is there a training session that they have to go through to make it where they can even have this and use it in actual practice?
Yeah, so currently we look at stylists on our wait list and we talk to them about their current business, what they're looking to do, their ambitions and goals, and then we're selecting stylists to start with as we're piloting this device. In terms of training, we've designed this machine or device to be as easy as possible to use. So what we're seeing is it takes about 20 minutes for someone to feel trained and supported in using the device, and we will provide ongoing support training so that people feel successful using this as well.
There's a lot of phenomenal hairstylists in Chicago, and they're probably like, man, this would save me on so much time, and actually probably in the long run would help them be more beneficial on the financial side, right? The more clients you can get to, the more financially beneficial it would be. Any idea how many people are on your list right now and how many of these devices you plan to have out there once you do start chipping away at that list that you have there?
Yeah, so right now we have 7,000 salons and stylists on our wait list. I don't know how many are in Chicago. I need to find out. But we did, early in our research process, actually go around Chicago visiting different braiding salons, different stylists as we were developing and researching. So we'd be really, really excited to launch in this area. And there are so many incredible hair braiding salon stylists in this area. So it would be a great opportunity for us to really share what we've built with them.
I know you founded this smart cooking appliance company, and then we ended up here with this Halo braid. Is there anything else that you're working on, that you can talk about publicly in this space of creating, I don't want to call them gadgets because they're so much bigger than that, but these devices that make our lives easier, technology that makes our lives more convenient?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I started in the smart cooking appliances space designing barbecue grills and smokers that were smart and allowed you to cook a phenomenal barbecue with ease. And so it's interesting being now in this space with hair technology, making it faster, more efficient, and more accessible for people. I think I love anywhere that has an intersection of culture and technology and making it easier for people to access their culture, their history, their ancestry, and make those rituals more efficient in this modern age, and also more joyful.
I must be honest. I admire you. I think what you've done is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of those moments where, you look at your life and you're like, what did I do with my life? I'm very proud to have had this interview with you. I think you're one of the most phenomenal minds in our generation. And I think what you have here is truly special. Any last words that you would want to put out there in the public sphere about what you have going on and what you've done so far?
That's so kind. I mean, first I'd like to shout out the phenomenal team of engineers and builders that I get to work with. I feel really lucky to be building this vision with so many wonderful people who are dedicated and talented. So I just want to shout them out. This does not get built with one person. And then just a reminder for everyone, we're building Halo Braid. It's a braid assisted device to make it faster for stylists to finish braids and to do so consistently and gently. And if you know someone who gets their hair braided or you braid hair, please refer them to halobraid.com. We would love to save 1 billion hours spent braiding each year.
Yeah, I love that. And I like that you said one of the words you used during this interview was the word gentle, because we know sometimes, our braiders aren't always gentle. So I'm happy that you created a device that considered that too. The tension of the hair, the sensitivity of the scalp, all which is very, very important. Yinka, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to actually having this device braid some of my hair in the future. Thank you so much for coming on Chicago Live. We appreciate you very much and hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to braiding your hair very, very soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Stay with us right here on Chicago Live. We have much more to talk about right after this short break. Welcome back to Chicago Live. Okay, so it has been hot around the city of Chicago and into the suburbs and other parts of our viewing area for sure for the last few days. And maybe your kids are like tired of feeling like they're cramped inside. They want to get outside, but you want to make sure that you keep them safe at the same time. Well, we have someone that can kind of navigate you through this process if you're a parent and you're sick of hearing, well, I don't want to do that. I'm bored. We got somebody that may be able to help us parents. Susanna Wickham is the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. She is joining us right now to really walk us through some activities that we can do with our kids to keep them active during these hot spells. Susanna, thank you so much for coming on Chicago Live with us today.
Thank you. So nice to see you.
Talk about, first of all, we'll start with this part. Tell us about, some of the amazing programming. Maybe we have some folks watching right now. Maybe they're not a part of the Boys and Girls Club. Tell us about some of the programming that you have going on there.
I'm so glad you asked. So during the summer, we offer all-day summer camp, and some of our camps still do have some room, and it is 90% subsidized by donations. So it's a very low cost summer camp, and about 40% of the kids go completely free. So a really great resource for parents. We have 9 clubs. It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the kids get lots of things to do all day, every day.
Well, that's perfect because most parents work. So, that is a child this summer to make sure that they're safe, but their minds are still going at the same time. So when school starts back, they're not, completely out of touch with homework and developing and all of that. Can you walk me through some of the programming within those summer camps, some of the activities that the children do?
Well, we break the day into 1-hour blocks of time, and so they'll move from space to space. All of our clubs are the size of schools. So picture giant buildings that have gyms and game rooms, but then also art spaces, science labs, and we rotate the kids through different age-appropriate activities all day long, so they're never bored. When the weather is nice, we can take them outside. We have outdoor play areas in many of our clubs, and also we do field trips every week. And we look at the weather as a guide because on a week like the one we just had, we had to cancel some of our outdoor plans and really focus on keeping the kids safe in the heat.
Yeah, that is obviously a situation that could be problematic. You have a camp, you want the kids to go outside, but when it's hot like what we've seen, you want to make sure that they're safe. Let's talk about that part of it, because sometimes as parents, you feel a little pressure to figure out what to do with your kids. Even if they're coming home after camp, they want to do more things. What are some activities you would suggest that parents can do to keep those young minds going?
Well, the big thing is you want to do something cognitive, because that can provide a lot of focused concentration that not only spends time and helps them develop as they're growing, but also will give them some of that release, because kids have so much energy. And so mental stimulation is really important. And you have to be aware of too much screen time, because screen time is stimulation without release, and it just usually makes them even more antsy. So you want to give them really focused projects. I have a couple of examples here. These are things that might take 10 or 20 minutes to do. This shows the tendons in a hand, and it's something that kids can build with their parents, depending on their age, or with an older sibling. We have lots of craft activities that, again, it's not a screen, it's something hands-on, it's mentally stimulating, so that they're learning, but also they are expending some of that kid energy in a really great way.
No, you're absolutely right. Those screens we know can be addictive, and sometimes you think that you've selected all the right safeguards so your kids are not being exposed to certain things on those screens. But I've heard words, even when my daughter is using, her iPad from time to time, that I'm like, no, I did not approve, that word being used in a video and my child watching it. I want to go back to that mechanical paper hand that you had up. Tell me about some of the supplies that are often needed, for parents to do this, because sometimes I think, you feel a little intimidated because you're like, okay, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an artist. Maybe you're not the best at, being able to figure out, what goes where. Walk me through some of the supplies, because I'm trying to figure out, if this is easy, because sometimes that's the issue for parents, if this is easy for parents and children to pull off together.
Yeah, it is. And true confession, I didn't make this. Someone at the club did. But it's a 10 to 20 minute activity. And it's paper, yarn, a straw, and similarly, I have a paper rocket here that you attach a straw to, and then
Good job.
Just something fun
Way
to do.
to go, Susanna. That was awesome.
Right? I'm learning all sorts of things at Boys and Girls Club. But I would say that a lot of these things are really easy to do. They just require a little bit of concentration. And things like puzzles, I have a puzzle that I'm doing on my dining room table right now as I sit here, because that's a great activity. The other thing I wanted to say is that it's not just the super hot days in July. So obviously this week it was dangerously hot. Air conditioning's breaking and all over town, and people really struggling to hydrate and stay cool in that heat. So you have to be so careful bringing kids outside when the weather's that bad. But even today we have a break from the heat and it's been thunderstorming, and once again that's dangerous to go outside. So finding ways that kids can do activities in the house. Our advice would be break it up every half hour, do a different activity. And some of them could be reading, memory games. They could be building games like Legos. They could be construction or crafts like the ones I just showed you. And then you can also, when you're making lunch, have your kids help, because that's another great activity. It's hands-on, keeps them away from the screen for just a little bit longer. Do your best to postpone screen time till the very end of the day, because you really want kids to burn all that energy, and they can burn it mentally as well. And that really is the key takeaway.
No, you're absolutely right. Very good advice there and tips. I want you to talk a little bit about, maybe someone's watching right now and maybe they've heard the phrases, they've heard the words, the Boys and Girls Club. Maybe they've never thought to go any further than just hearing those words. Talk about the mission behind the Boys and Girls Club.
Sure. Well, the mission is to be there for the kids who need us the most. And we are in communities where there may not be a lot of other infrastructure for kids. So safe places to go after school. Many of the parents that bring their kids to Boys and Girls Clubs, they might be single parents and they might have more than one job. So often they don't have the flexibility to pick up a kid from school at 3 o'clock or 3:30. So they come to us, and we have all these structured activities, not just fun and games and sports, but also leadership, academics. And they can stay with us till 8 o'clock at night. We'll give them dinner. And we are an extension of the family and a real support to a lot of parents in Chicago. So it really is. I love the mission. I love knowing that we're helping kids in communities where they may not have a lot of other options. And meeting the kids every day and seeing all of their ambition and their excitement and their will to succeed is the best thing in my life.
I remember it distinctively because one of our kids, we needed a summer camp for him. And I did go to you guys' website, and one of the top, search bars that you have there is child safety. And that stuck out to me, as a parent, because that's the number one priority for most parents, especially even more so now. And especially in the summer where we know things can get a little hairy, is the safety. Talk about, you are a nonprofit organization, right? So in part, you need financing to keep going. Talk about ways that people can give, people can get involved.
Yeah, I love you for asking that. So we're funded by the community largely. The majority of our budget, about 85%, is donations, and then a little bit of government funding as well to make up the balance. And so people can go to our website, bgcc.org, and they can make a donation at any time. We accept anything that people are willing to give. And we also have a series of events and fundraisers throughout the year. So there's always something going on and a way to support. And I'm so glad you pointed out safety, because that is the most important focus of everything we do. When kids enter our building, safety is a really top to bottom concern. So all of our staff go through background checks. No adults are allowed in the buildings unless they are our staff or they've been background checked. And so there is a real focus on making sure that the kids, because kids are so vulnerable, so a real focus on making sure they're safe. And also that is translated to everything we do in the building. So we have inspections every year from our parent organization, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and they're looking at things like, do we have any toxic chemicals that a kid might accidentally ingest that isn't locked up? So they're looking at everything. Is every bit of the building safe for kids? So from who we let in the building to everything that we do, there is a tremendous focus on making sure the kids are safe. That is our number one. And I think that's another reason that it is such a gift to parents to have this resource available in the communities that we're in.
No, it's so important. Safety on every single level, even the environment, as you mentioned, chemicals and things like that being used. I want to go to something that you said, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but you did mention a portion of what keeps you guys going is government funding. And we have seen a lot of organizations say that some of their funding just isn't there the way it used to be. And I'm just curious if your organization has fallen into some of that, where maybe the funding is decreasing and not increasing, and what that means for your organization moving forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And before I joined the organization a year ago, they went through a pretty traumatic loss of government funding, and it forced kind of a re-engineering of the entire organization. My focus has really been on increasing the private fundraising that we get, because that is a little bit more of a dependable source of revenue, believe it or not. Government funding can go up and it can go down. And I think organizations, it can be very risky if you're overly reliant on government funding. So we've worked to lessen our reliance on that revenue stream and really focus on bringing in those donations to make sure that we can fulfill our mission. We have 9 buildings that we operate. They're very expensive to operate. 4 of them have pools. So as you can imagine, there's a heavy infrastructure investment to have these safe spaces for kids. And so I'm very motivated to make sure that we continue in perpetuity and that we solidify our foundation and make sure that we are safe and good to go.
All right. Well, I appreciate the hard work that you're doing, because I know I've had to do, like the popcorn drives at my kids' school before, and that's hard. So I can only imagine fundraising or on a corporate level, how, kind of pulling those dollars out of people can be a challenge sometimes. Susanna Wickham, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago, thank you so much for spending some time with us, talking about the issues that matter. And we hope you have a great weekend with your family.
Thank you. Happy 4th.
All right. Happy 4th to you as well. And happy 4th to anyone that's watching right now. I'm sure maybe you're already fired up that grill. We had a little rain come through the Chicagoland area. So maybe now is the time to get that grill going. If you do decide to do so, my email address. No, I'm kidding. I hope you guys are off to a great weekend. Stick with us right here on Chicago Live. We have a lot more show ahead for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Chicago Live. You know, we spend a lot of time, oftentimes on the news, talking about the negative things that young people do. And today, I actually want to highlight some positive, because there's only really a small fraction, if we were to look at the numbers of young folks that are doing bad things compared to those that are doing phenomenal things in our communities. And I want to bring into the conversation Zachary, aka Zach, last name Favors, to join us. He's in the 6th grade, and he's going to talk about an initiative that he has going on this weekend. Zach, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing on this Friday?
Hello, I'm doing well.
All right, Zach. So break it down for me. Tell me who you are, what school you go to, and then tell me about this second community cleanup event that you yourself are hosting.
So who I am, like you said, my name is Zachary Favors. Zach for short.
Zach, let me intervene real quick. Apparently, we cannot see you on your Zoom. Can you get the Zoom started where we can see your video? Because we want to see this remarkable young man that we're talking to this afternoon.
That's what we are trying to do right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually says that the video is started. That's kind of weird.
Okay.
Let me see what's happening.
You may have to leave and come back in, and if you do, don't worry. I can tap dance until you show back up. So I'll let you work on that. In the meantime, I'll talk about some of what we have coming up on our newscast today. And one story, I saw it and I said, man, this is absolutely phenomenal. So we interviewed this man earlier during the week, Leslie Moreno did, and he said that at the time, he was under the impression, because his apartment was overrun with rats. And so he was under the impression that he had been bitten by rats. Turns out that an ophthalmologist actually saw our story, because this gentleman's face near his eyes had like all of these little red marks, which you could equate to be rat bites, until an ophthalmologist actually saw our story, recognized the warning signs of shingles, and contacted Fox Chicago, examined this gentleman for free, and said early treatment may have saved his eyesight. Doctors say it's unclear whether the rat attack, shingles, or both happened at the same time, but this gentleman who we interviewed in Rogers Park, it turns out that now he's going to be in good health because of this one story that we aired. So you just never know how, one story can really reshape the course of someone's life. His name was Mr. Hernandez. So Leslie Moreno goes into a deeper dive of that story tonight on the news. You can catch it at 4, 5, and also 9 o'clock. I want to talk about some of the other viral stories that we have that people have been really engaged in on our website. This is one. 2 have been charged after a severed arm with a Packers tattoo was found in the Illinois lake. That came out yesterday. I'm sure you saw that headline. You can go to our website right now to learn more about that. The website, fox32chicago.com. Also, Operation New Dawn, that was a big topic for us. 179 people were charged in this massive Chicago area anti-violence crackdown. And there's been so many stories that people are interested in on our website right now. Again, fox32chicago.com. But that story involving this man whose apartment was overrun with rats, he did say, even in his interview, that he had been bitten by rats at some point. So for that ophthalmologist to see it, recognize the early warning signs of shingles, be able to treat this gentleman, is just a phenomenal story. And again, that will air later on in our newscast. Okay, we want to take a really short break. I'm talking really short, and we're going to come back, and hopefully Zach's Zoom is working so we can talk about all of the work that he's done in his community thus far, why he's interested in the environment in the first place, making sure that it's clean and up to par. We'll have the story of Zach Favors coming up right after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to Chicago Live. I was telling you about this phenomenal young man who is a rising sixth grader. His name is Zach Favors, and he's doing something really phenomenal this weekend. But I kind of want to walk through, what he's done already to get to this point. Zach, I know we have you on Zoom. It's up and running. Thank you so much for coming on Chicago. Look at you. Oh, my goodness, Zach. You are such a little cutie there. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us. So let's start here. You are a rising sixth grader. Tell us about the school that you go to and really what got you involved in being curious about your environment.
So the school I go to is Francis Xavier Ward, and it's way better than my old school because there's more opportunities, more activities, and I just think their learning system is way more better because I've actually learned about pollution and litter and all the different forms of pollution.
Man, you dissed the old school, but that's okay. We didn't name them, so we're all good there. I want to talk to you about what you're doing this weekend. You are making sure that a park is up to snuff. Talk about the effort that's going forward on July 5th that you have coming up this Sunday from 9 to 11.
So the effort is cleaning up as much trash and litter as we can at my local park, Beverly Park. And I know there's probably going to be some firework debris from the 4th of July since it's the day after.
Yeah, that's a very good point because we know that oftentimes, people light off those fireworks and many of them are illegal and they leave their trash behind. So that is a really good idea. Talk about the first one that you had, the big cleanup at Crescent Park that you did.
So the first cleanup at Crescent Park is actually the park I went to when I was in daycare, and I would go there with my classmates and we would play, go on slides, play on the swings. It was really fun. But I noticed as time went on, there was lots of trash. So I decided to take an effort and make a project so people would be aware that our local parks have been being littered. So I just wanted to be noticed and make people rethink their choices about littering.
Very good point. I've seen it. A lot of adults, most of the people littering aren't your age. They're the grown folks who should know better, but that's a whole nother story, Zach, for a whole nother day. Talk about that cleanup at Crescent Park. How much trash, how many bags did you fill up when you started that with your family and your friends?
So according to the newspaper, we cleaned up 12 bags. And there was trash like soda cans, water bottles, plastic, firework debris.
So that first time that you did that at Crescent Park, you invited family, friends, people that you knew. But this time on July 5th, you want everyday people to come out, not just people that you know. Talk about why you think it's important for people that maybe they're not your family and friends should come out and participate.
Well, for people that aren't my family and friends, like my neighbors, which I don't really know that well, I decided to let them register so they can be inspired by me to maybe do their own projects like this in the future.
It's okay. I don't know my neighbors that well either. I say, hello, Mrs. Jones. Goodbye, Mrs. Jones. So I understand where you're coming from there. Or someone does want to register, Zach, or do they just show up? Or is there a place that they need to go to let you know that they will be participating?
Well, my mom has a digital list on her phone for the people who are registered. But those people have to sign a waiver.
Got it. And I want to point out that cleanup supplies are being provided by the Chicago Parks Foundation for you to pull this off. Do you have other siblings? And if so, what do they think about this? Especially if you have older siblings.
Nope, I'm the only child.
I knew it. I knew you were the only child. I'm the only child too. And I could just feel those vibes of independence reeking through the camera there. So I understand that. I want to ask you a few questions here, Zach. What's your favorite subject in school? And then I'd be curious to know if you have a least favorite subject in school.
Well, at first my favorite subject was math, but then it switched over to science because at my school we would do many fun experiments. Like there was this one experiment that was my favorite. It was the pancake experiment.
Live from
where
Chicago.
we actually
This is
made
Fox
pancakes,
32 News
and then
at
we got
4.
to eat them at the end.
Yeah, I figured it was science based on you caring about the environment, which is an arm of science. Zach, what do your parents think? You mentioned your mom having this digital list. What does mom think about you really starting this? You're in 6th grade. How old are you?
Live from Chicago.
11 years old.
11 years
Fox
old.
32
I don't know
News
why
at
we're
4.
hearing that Fox 32 News at 4. We need to go to break. We're going to go to break real quick, Zach, but don't you go anywhere. We want to continue this conversation. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back to Chicago Live. If you are just joining our show, we were talking to an expert on environmental cleanup. No, I'm kidding, but a soon-to-be expert on environmental cleanup. We were talking to Zach Favors, who's 11 years old. This weekend, he has an effort going on. This is going to happen Sunday from 9 to 11 right at Beverly Park, which is located at 2640 West 102nd Street. There will be a cleanup there, which this is his second time doing this. And this time around, Zach wants the overall community to come out, and the cleanup supplies are already taken care of. You don't have to worry about that. They are being provided by the Chicago Parks Foundation. So that is what Zach has going on. When we were speaking, Zach said at one point his favorite subject was math, but now it is science, and it fits perfectly with what he has going on. Zach, I want to welcome you back into the conversation here. I see a lot of awards and certificates and maybe even degrees behind you, which makes me think somebody in your family is very intelligent. Maybe it's more than just you. Tell me about what mom thinks about you doing all of this at just 11 years old.
So even though I'm just 11 years old, my mom is very proud of me doing something phenomenal and civic engagement like this. So she's just very proud of me.
Yeah, she should be, because you're doing some really phenomenal things. Zach, I am going to let you go here shortly, but I want to ask you, if we were to look at your life, you're 11 now. Let's give it a few years. Let's give it 10 years. What is something Zach aspires to become as an adult?
So I either aspire to become a scientist or an engineer. Engineer, the reason is because I'm interested in animatronics and like how they're built, and I see them a lot at lots of kids' play places like Chuck E. Cheese. And for scientist, I'd either like to pursue medicine or study plants or like animals, like a veterinarian.
I love it. Animatronics, medicine, plants, maybe studying plants, animals. You are doing a phenomenal job representing yourself here at just 11 years old. Tell your parents they have done a phenomenal job with you, because most 11-year-olds that come on the show, we can't even get them to get a sentence out. They're shaking in their boots, Zach, but you did a phenomenal job today. We appreciate you coming on Chicago Live, and I look forward to talking to you maybe in 5 years, because if you're doing this now at 11, there is no telling what your future will look like in just a few years. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you to your mom. Stay with us right here on Chicago Live. We'll be right back.
For you, then, like Black Don't Crack.
Yes, hi. What? Sorry? Oh.
That's typical. Is that not typical?
Yeah, hi. What are the equipment issues? Are we privy?
I don't know, apparently they could hear my mic on Chicago Live, and maybe they still can, but...
Oh, no.
I was talking to...
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you watching this Friday edition of Chicago Live. I don't know what else could inspire you beyond meeting little Zach Favors there in 6th grade, 11 years old, doing some phenomenal work in our community. And if he can do it at 11, you know what that means, adults, right? We could start pitching a hand to and doing it right in our own backyards. That's literally what he's doing, helping out the environment right in his own backyard. We appreciate you joining us on this weekend, because we're going into the weekend right now, Chicago Live edition. We hope you have a safe weekend. We hope you have a pleasant weekend. But most importantly, out of everything I said, that word safe is so important. Life is so fragile. We know that. And we will see you next week. Happy 4th of July. Celebrate responsibly. And we will see you next Monday. We'll see you then. Have a great night.